Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, March 22nd. This is cancelthisshow.com, live Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And of course, you can catch all of our original content, the evergreen content, on our website. It's simple, cancelthisshow.com. We love it when you share the show, when you subscribe, and of course, keep us updated with stories that are going on. We don't hit everything. We try to. If you have any cancel culture interviews that you want, we are the Cancel Culture Education Facility. All right. With that being said, I'm Vic Faust, tab of the hassle, alongside Eric Johnson, Scotty Gerken on the boards, our engineer, producer extraordinaire, and of course, Lizzie Sparks taking care of the comment line, as she always does from a social media. With that being said, we've got a big show again. It is a big hump day show, as always. Some of the topics we're going to get into today. Here we go. The Daily Mail reporting that former President Trump, will be indicted today. We'll see where that goes. But an arraignment of some sort wouldn't happen until next week. We'll get into that. Ron DeSantis sits down with Piers Morgan, of all people. That interview is going to be seen on Fox, I believe, starting tomorrow. There was a sentence again from DeSantis. He's kind of doing that wishy-washy middle line. He's not going after Trump, but kind of getting those digs in there. Absolutely no doubt he's running for president. No doubt whatsoever. We've also got a poll that was done. What states in the country are getting the most out of their tax dollars? And when it comes to the Trump situation, defendtrump.org, defendtrump.org. Once again, defendtrump.org. Go to the site. You can sign up. You can put your name there, and defendtrump.org, signing a petition along with many other people in regards to your distaste, your hate, the joke that's happening to Donald Trump. We'll get into that. We've got Kathy Helbig coming up at 8:30 as well, get our real estate in. And of course, tomorrow we've got a big interview. Mr. Ric Flair will be joining us to talk cancel culture education. Also tomorrow, Mike Yoder. If you don't know him, look him up on Instagram, couple 100,000 followers there. He is an attorney that will break down all of the bogus, and I repeat, bogus information that's being put out about this whole Trump case, why he says it's not even a case, why at the end of the day, it's all about getting people not to support Donald Trump and promote to his campaign. Lots to get to. This is cancelthisshow.com. We're going to start in just a second, but a big part of what we do is your donations to cancelthisshow.com. We need and appreciate the donations that you give. And of course, the partners who have partnered with us as advertisers. Please check them out. If you need any products, use them, check them out, and let them know that you heard about them from cancelthisshow.com. Back with more right after a list of our partners.
Have you ever heard of a use tax? Well, it's just another name for sales tax that may be paid on a purchase from Amazon or any out-of-state seller. Until recently, out-of-state sellers didn't have to collect the same tax as our local stores. But recently, the Missouri legislature voted to give our state its portion. Now Chesterfield voters must approve the law to get our city portion. Vote yes on Prop U to support our local stores and help our city pay for police, parks, and streets. Paid for by Citizens for Chesterfield's Future, Gerald Wright, Treasurer.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car, hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Attention all foodies in the St. Louis area. Are you tired of bland, boring food that lacks flavor? Look no further than Pixie Dust Seasoning. That's P-I-X-Y. Pixie Dust Seasoning is a healthy, low-sodium brand with sugar-free options. We've sprinkled a little magic into every bottle so you can enjoy delicious, flavorful meals without the guilt. Pixie Dust Seasoning can be found in all Fresh Time locations and select Schnook stores in the St. Louis market. If you can't make it to the store, don't worry. You can find us online at www.pixiedustseasoning.com. So what are you waiting for? Add a little magic to your meals with Pixie Dust Seasoning. Our tagline says it all. Sprinkle a little magic. Try it today.
And when you visit the site, be sure to use the code name Vic so they know you came from cancelthisshow.com.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Sponsors. They are a show sponsor for the segment. Complete Auto Body Care. 6 locations, 6 auto body shops, the best you're going to find. Climate controlled. That's right. They need technicians. There's a lot of places looking for workers. They need some technicians. They've got a lot of business coming in. Climate controlled is what they do. Complete Auto Body Care. So we've got that kicking. And of course, give them a call, CompleteAB.com, CompleteAB.com. Let them know you heard about it on CancelThisShow.com. There it is. And of course, if you know somebody that's a mechanic, a technician of any kind, go there. Great, great pay. They take care of their employees and the people there love it. All right. It is CancelThisShow.com. Thanks for kicking it off with us on a Wednesday. We've got news coming up when it comes. You know what we have to hit first? We do, Tabitha, you do a crime blog. And of course, unfortunately, St. Charles 1 body found yesterday. We heard about it. It happened 2 nights ago at about 10 p.m.
Yes.
We heard early yesterday morning. What do you break down with the case with Jackie?
Unfortunately, it's an all too typical case. It's something that happens.
I was curious if you were
all the time. You know, especially when you see a vehicle that's been found in a parking lot. Usually that means something happened nearby. The person parked there. They walked home. I expected her to be found, you know, in that general area. And like I said yesterday, 99% of homicides are committed by someone you know. So the man, and we don't know the details yet. We don't know exactly what happened, but the man who is being
Joseph
charged,
LaJoy.
with second-degree murder,
What does that mean?
Acquaintances.
Oh, they knew each other.
They knew each other.
Second-degree murder, also tampering with evidence and leaving essentially a dead body.
It could be a situation where they were using drugs together and there was a drug overdose and she died and he left her there. It's not first degree murder. So I don't feel that he violently murdered her. Something else happened here.
And a life lost.
A life lost,
A family left with the grief.
Yes.
And unspeakable grief.
And
especially after a week.
I've heard so many good things about Jackie. Different people reached out to me yesterday and they said, I know her. My family knows her. We know her from here, or there. I went to high school with her. She was definitely a very loved person.
Well, and that there's really no words when something like that happens. She was found dead, man charged with murder. And then, of course, here we go again. It's like you're with people you think you can trust, and maybe you can't. Obviously, she was with somebody that she trusted, and this is what happened. So, the St. Charles County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged DeJoy with second-degree murder, tampering with physical evidence, and the abandonment of a corpse. DeJoy is in custody at the St. Louis County Justice Center on $1 million cash-only bond. What I didn't understand is why did St. Charles County Prosecuting Office charge him if it
I
happened?
am going to guess, and all we can do is speculate.
I know
at this
she
point.
lived in St. Charles.
I'm going to speculate that maybe she went home, and somehow they left her home,
Okay.
and maybe she was even died at her home. We don't know, and somehow made her way back to that area. But where her phone last pinged, unfortunately, typically when someone's phone pings last, that's usually about where they're found, and that was the situation in this case.
Well, and she was found in Maryland Heights at his apartment,
very near where her car was left.
So if anybody,
and she likely drove there. It's very possible she drove there voluntarily. We don't know. All we can do is speculate. We don't know.
Well, that was a story from a local standpoint. We're obviously based out of the St. Louis area, but we have a national show here. We gear towards a national audience, and of course, we appreciate it when you share the show, like, subscribe, and do everything you can from that standpoint. Okay. The Donald, round 8, 9, 10, a report from the Daily Mail stating that former President Donald Trump will be indicted today. However, they're still going over this case in Manhattan, which is, I'm trying to follow this. I mean, yeah, could it happen today? It doesn't matter whether we think it's going to happen or not going to happen. It's prognosticating. Does anybody really know? I'm just surprised that they're saying he's going to be indicted today.
Well,
and I don't know where that's coming from.
Well, it's coming from the fact that they've allegedly the DA's office has contacted Trump's personal attorneys, and they told them that he has to turn himself in today.
But Trump's attorney, as early as this morning, said they have not heard about any indictment coming yet. That's what Trump's attorney said.
And I've heard that also.
Which is confusing.
It is extremely confusing. It is extremely confusing. And then you hear all these different reports. Well, Trump is saying that he wants to be handcuffed. He figures if he's going to turn himself in and get a mugshot and fingerprinted, then he wants the whole rigmarole. I don't know what's going on.
Well, demonstrations are going on in New York as Trump is back on the potential indictment against him. Protesters against Trump and supporters outside of the offices of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Alvin Bragg, who is just loving this in his own support. When you break down the case, not an attorney, but we're going to break it down tomorrow with Mike Yoder. He is an attorney. He is a specialist in this sort of law. He is a specialist when it comes to political law, and he'll be joining us tomorrow. We're going to talk with Mike. We're trying to make that schedule work for him to get on the show. We have a busy show tomorrow with Ric Flair coming on as well to talk about cancel culture, his marijuana business, and his woo chews, and his wrestling background and where his life is now. But Mike Yoder, when you hear him, he breaks it out. He says there's not even a case here. He's like, he's like, if a judge even allowed it to go through, it's going to be a mockery. And it's all about degrading Donald Trump, all about trying to get supporters to take money away so that he doesn't have campaign funds to continue on. If you like it, fine. If it pisses you off, we have an action here. We're all about a call to action here. You can go to defendtrump.org, all caps, defendtrump.org. You can sign a petition with several other people. We'll see how many people actually sign it that we can send in as well so that you have a voice. Defendtrump.org. This all coming today on the heels of an interview that is going to air tomorrow. Ron DeSantis sits down with Piers Morgan, of all people, to talk about everything. Florida, his possibility of running for president, and his thoughts on Donald Trump. Some excerpts of that have been released, and he's kind of doing it. He leaves it in the middle again. Is he taking the high road? Is he not? Does it matter? Or is he doing something else? He did say, one of the clips that has been released that you can look up and find. I would show you the clips. I just couldn't find the clips. They're saving it. Fox News showed some of those clips where he says, well, all I can do is tell you this. We don't have daily drama in the governor's mansion in Florida.
Darn it. I mean, come on. That's part of Trump's appeal is the daily drama.
Maybe.
That's part of Trump's appeal.
It might be. Once again, I was just going to text. What was that, Vic? It's defendtrump.org, defendtrump.org. You can sign a petition there. One thing it is it's become theater, as I talk about, in New York now. Another national story getting headlines all week long. Is something else going on? Is it trying to hide something else that's going on?
You mean is it a distraction?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Because I talked to a liberal attorney last night who even said there's nothing here. This is all about...
It's old, and it's old news. It's old news. They've already deposed people, 2 years ago about that? 3 years ago? It's old news.
Which is why we're here going, people, deep breath, look through all the rigmarole, look for the facts, understand what's actually happening. Don't chase the puck, as Wayne Gretzky said. Go where the puck isn't, and then the situations will become very more clear for you. You'll be able to see through everything that's going on. Big time distraction, something else. What else may be going on?
Don't you think, Vic, that every American already knew that Trump paid Stormy Daniels money?
Probably. Probably.
I mean, we all saw the letter, didn't we?
Well, it wasn't suppressed by social media, I can tell you that.
If anything, promoted. Just to be fair.
Exactly.
I mean, his attorney went to prison. Remember that? His attorney, what was it, Cohen?
Yeah, this Michael Cohen is something else.
He went to prison.
Yeah, this guy.
So, I mean, I don't even understand why all this is happening. Why are we going through all this again when this was an issue that was dealt with years ago? I
just happened to look at the chat line, and Robert says, doesn't Stormy owe Trump money? I heard that as well, that she owed him, I mean, even hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And she made a public statement that said he never paid her hush money. She actually wrote a letter and signed it that said he never paid her hush money. This is.
Do you agree with that? Do you believe that?
No, but it doesn't even matter. What about the woman that Joe Biden allegedly sexually assaulted?
Well,
what about her? You don't hear about her.
What about Paula Jones?
Exactly, and the many women that Bill Clinton paid off. There's so many, and we don't hear from the woman that Joe Biden allegedly sexually assaulted because, she was probably paid off. I mean, isn't that the way of America? If you do something to someone, you just pay them money and they go away. Isn't that how it works?
How about this? Simple. Life can be so simple. We complicate it as humans because we're imperfect beings. Was your life better when Donald Trump was the president?
Shoot. What do you think?
Or not? Were things better 2.5 years ago than they are now? Was the world a kinder, more stable place than what it is now? Did you have more confidence about the future than what you do now? Leaving your feelings behind. And I know this may upset our Democrat listeners who anything but Trump, because you see the hate, the vitriol, everything. Was your life better or not? It's not easy being a leader. It's not easy navigating those waters, especially when people are coming after you. Was it better?
Yes.
You would really want Joe Biden again? Kamala Harris? Would you really, really want that? Or
Democrats will.
Or any? Who is the best? Really? Who is it? I mean, yeah, Ron DeSantis has proven success in one state, but not on a national level yet. We like him. We do. We like him. We think he's qualified as a governor. He's had super success. Could he take the next step? Who knows? Anyway, coming up at 8:30, we promoted Kathy Helbig-Strick once again coming into studio 8:30 for her weekly segment. We love that talk with Kathy. I mean, just think about it. Where are we right now? And all the headlines, all the crap that's being thrown out there, and media chases it around. Now, is it a story that a former president could be indicted? In my humble opinion, 100%. It is. You have to cover it. You have to. I know I was waiting for you to say, no, it isn't, Vic.
But I was in doubts that it would happen. I never expected someone to come to his house and arrest him and put him in handcuffs and carry him away. But it does sound like something is going to happen where maybe he's going to have to turn himself in. It is a big story. There's no question about it. And it's a big story because of who he is and why they're doing it. That's what makes it the big story.
Do you really think Donald Trump wants that mugshot, that he wants the handcuffs?
Of course not.
I don't think he does.
Of course not.
I mean, I know I see people, now we have the campaign. Donald Trump has just won the presidency in the next election, courtesy of District Attorney Bragg and what he is doing. But still, handcuffs, pictures, is that going to be something that suburban moms take offense to? But would you really? Because all we can go with right now is the Democratic Party saying, oh, Joe Biden's running again, or whoever Joe Biden is, or what may happen. Scott, did you see the video I sent yesterday with Obama? It's labeled Obama. Did that come through, by the way? If it did, just let me know. It's very interesting because do you really want? And by the way, even if Donald Trump is indicted, as Tabitha told you a couple days ago, he can still run for president. He can still run for president. So and he's.
It's just going to aggravate his base.
No, I did not get that email.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
All of this is just it just aggravates his base. It just gets us all riled up. It's just going to give him more campaign money. It really is. I don't understand what all is going on outside of they're willing to let that go for the distraction that it's creating.
Check this, Scotty, okay? I just sent it back to you. The distraction, yes, it's there. Would it be better to have Trump in office than not? Is America getting great right now?
Oh, well, I think we all know the answer to that.
Hell no. Hell no. We've taken a back step to Russia. It seems like we've taken a back step to China. We've even taken a back step to Ukraine. And yes, guess what? More aid on the way to Ukraine. When did that come out, Tabitha?
Just yesterday. It was announced $350 million.
And
that's part of a bigger aid package that's coming between us and Europe, other NATO-backed countries. I think it's a total of $45 billion, and we are giving $350 million.
Okay, I did get the email, but it's Instagram. So as soon as I click this, the audio is going to start.
That's fine. And let me set it up. Let me set it up for you. I said, did you really want Joe Biden or somebody who is helping Joe Biden? You guys tell us what you think about this soundbite. Are we stretching with this, Tabitha? Are we stretching with this, our viewers and listeners? Listen to former President Barack Obama talking about being in office and calling the shots.
You got to give me a minute on it.
It
doesn't load that well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were ready.
No, I am, but Instagram's weird. So every time you open it,
Yeah,
it either plays it right away or it doesn't, and then there's audio issues. So let me get it on the screen here for everyone there.
We got it. Just listen to the words when we get this loaded up. And Scott, just interrupt me.
It's got to play through, and then it'll start from the beginning.
All right.
Instagram sucks.
That's all right. Just tell me when you're ready. Because this, I hadn't seen this. I'm sure people have. A lot of things, a lot of sound bites, a lot of stories get played. And here's Obama being asked about making decisions and being the leader.
A third term. And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony.
That's both scary and funny.
But this this clip has been around forever.
Yes.
And we've all known, I think, from day one that this is exactly what's happening.
But to
Who's
me,
in
it
the
resonates
earpiece?
today more so than ever, because that's over a year old.
Oh, it's definitely an old clip, but we should play that once a week.
Is that
at least once a week?
Scotty, can we play? Instagram stinks.
Because we know this is exactly what's happening. Everyone wants to say who's in
term. And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony.
All righty then. Sorry, that picture of Biden. Since there's multiple Bidens, we see all kinds of pictures.
I know which one was
of Joe
that.
Biden.
It's like Jeffrey Dunham and you see Biden.
Oh my
come
God.
up.
Like the movie Dave. He's just a puppet. We don't even know who he is, or there's probably multiple Bidens from what most of us believe. We've always known Obama is the earpiece, haven't we? And it's so good to hear him say it with his own words.
Here's the thing. You know, but I like proof. I like facts.
I know. And I'm with you.
And when you listen to that and you see what's happening and you see the worst president in the history of America not be able to handle situations, you know something's going on. And you see, as great of an orator, as I said, and I've always said that Barack Obama was,
he is.
I don't know a president who has been, who presented an image of class, of grace, of somebody who could speak so eloquently and come into a room and win people over, and even win conservatives over with the front. But then when you looked at policies and you look at what was actually done to tear down America, I also told people, I'll never forget, I can't say his name, somebody who used to work with in TV, very, very, very liberal from Chicago.
Imagine that.
Lost his mind when I'm like, do you not realize that a man like Trump got elected because so many Americans were disenfranchised, felt like, wait a second, what have you done to our country, Obama?
Obama paved the way.
Obama set the stage for Donald Trump. If there's no Obama, Donald Trump does not get elected, in my opinion.
But now you know Obama's history, right? I know I've told other people. How many people remember it? I don't know. But Obama came out of absolute obscurity. But he was in Chicago. He and Michelle were founders of the Chicago branch of Public Allies. And if you look up Public Allies, you will see that Public Allies is an activist. It's an activist group. And Obama actually founded this portion of it because he said he wanted to create a civilian army just as powerful and just as weaponized as the U.S. military. And that's exactly what he has done. In Public Allies, there are some of the people you see go out and protest. There are some of the paid people that go out to different locations and protest or get different bills signed, etc. It's a really interesting situation. They even have ranks. They're literally like a military. And you know what? And they're paid a monthly stipend.
You like that when you talk about military and ranks, don't you?
I will, maybe. But think about that Obama is doing this to our country.
Well, it's just something Tabitha wants to play every week. And who knows? Maybe we will. Scotty, can you save that and put it somewhere? If we look at Obama, if we look at Biden and go, wait, what is he doing? Why did he do that? Oh, yeah, let's play the clip. Oh, here's who's in charge. That's right.
We can do the grrr right after it, too.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Getting ready to talk with Kathy Helbig-Strick of Experience Real Estate Partners. Expect to be moved. We are certainly continuing to cover this. And by the way, we're going to get back to this story in just a moment. But remember, defendtrump.org, defendtrump.org. You can go there if you want to sign the petition, defendtrump.org, with all kinds of other people who are doing that right now, to be sent in to show your distaste of what was actually happening, because it is a big story. Once again, we'll also talk about Ron DeSantis in regards to what he's saying about Trump now, with a sit-down interview with Piers Morgan. Other stories that we still have today. What states are getting the most out of the tax money that residents are paying? I can tell you this much. Florida and Missouri are in the top 5. It's very red. Let's just put it this way. 4 out of the top 5 are very red states, so that should not surprise you. Actually, the blue state that's on the list surprised me, but it is there when it comes to the amount of money that's being paid. Okay, with that being said, it is our Wednesday situation, and today we got a surprise for you. Not only do we have Kathy Helbig-Strick in studio, and she may or may not be on camera at first. If you two are on together, her husband, Steve Strick, is here with an announcement again.
Yeah.
We could have both of you two together side by side, or you can bounce in. You would just have to move the chair.
No, yeah, you guys get in there together. It's like it's like the mamas and the papas when they would sing into the same mic. Remember that? Remember that?
And then we'll do our best to adjust the camera for the height difference, but we'll do our best. But look at that.
No, they look good together. That is like a
Steve
crazy.
and Kathy Helbig-Strick. Steve, welcome to the Cancel This Show audience for the first time actually on air, I think, right?
First time on air. Thank you, everybody. Good to be here.
All right. If you could introduce yourself to the viewers, the listeners, and what exactly you do and are doing, because I don't even know. I need to know what's
He's
up
the
in the
important
life.
part of the.
You know what? That's a good question because I don't even know sometimes.
You look at a house and you love it, and then you got to go talk to him to get the damn thing.
That's right.
You have a strong history, one of the top mortgage people in the St. Louis area and around the country for that matter. But the times that you've come in, you're like, wait a second, we have to talk. We have to wait before we can talk about things.
That's right. No, we've had some changes happen, and I am the newest vice president of New American Funding. Which
Congratulations.
is 10 lenders in the entire country. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
Cocktails.
We do a lot of other things as well besides the mortgage business, but that's what we've been focused on, and hopefully we can enlighten some people on what's going on, although we don't really know what's going on in the economy right now or the financial world, do we?
Yeah. And I keep talking to your wife about the mortgage rate and how that dream of home ownership and then the price of the house and then how that mortgage. I would love answers and what some advice from you would be, because it seems like people who could afford a $500,000 house cannot do it anymore because that interest rate is up there. What advice would you give to them? Is it like, man, you just need to look for a $300,000 house because the mortgage price, the monthly price of that mortgage is just not attainable right now. Is that correct to say?
You know, it's a case by case basis, but yeah, rates going up has obviously priced a lot of people out of the market.
Yeah.
You know, rates have, let's call it doubled, you know, maybe even a little bit more than that. So with that being said, your payment's probably going to go up 50% of what it would have been when rates were at 3%. Now they're 6 or 7%. My advice is always this. My advice is if you like the home and you can afford it, you buy it.
Yeah.
Because rates are going to change. The house isn't going to change that much. Inventory isn't there. So if you really like the home, don't worry about the rate if you can afford it.
And then you refinance, right?
Exactly. Yes. That's the plan, right? You know, in a perfect world, inflation goes down, rates go down. I think that's what's going to happen, but we don't really know the timing of that.
Right. If you had to guess, if you just had like,
well, we're getting ready to have another rate increase potentially.
Possibly today.
Yes.
Possibly today. I want to be optimistic because that's the world I live in. It is. It is. So I think that we're going to see rates start to fall at the end of the year.
So would your advice be, and it comes down to $500,000 3 years ago. Okay, I can afford $2,800 a month. $500,000 house now, $4,500, $3,700 a month in monthly net. That's where the problem is that we're disconnected in the brain of looking for a house. Is the advice, go look for a $300,000 house. Maybe you'll find something in that, and then you stay in that monthly mortgage. Because I think people in this area anyway, they live month to month. They do. It's not like San Francisco where you have this incredible capital gains community. They work at Amazon and they can afford a certain amount, you know?
Well, I think it's comfort level. You know, you have to ask yourself those questions. And going into what we're going into right now, there is the R word, the recession word. Yeah. So what happens with the recession? There are layoffs typically, right?
Right.
And we have inflation. Prices go up. Purchase power goes down, and more risk of layoffs. So if you're in an industry or you're concerned about losing your job or maybe even your pay getting decreased,
right,
maybe you do sit on the sidelines for a little while.
Okay.
But house prices are going down for the first time in how many months? It's been quite some time.
I don't even remember how.
Why?
I
but
think she's
why
right. I
is-
think
but why
Tabitha's
is
right.
That?
Or something crazy like
Because I thought I heard national market or the national media saying that the market's down about 20%.
Yeah.
So it's mixed messages because it depends on where you're talking about. When
Right.
you're talking about a national market, they're bringing in the San Franciscos and the coastlines that had the extreme highs. They start to feel it first. That brings the national numbers down. In our market right now, the reports did show that inventory is up, but we're all like, where is it? We don't see the inventory.
Yeah.
I looked today, like I've been kind of reporting to you every week I come in, it's been, that upper threes to 400, 460 listings coming on per week. Today it's low threes again. So this is the normal spring market. I think they say next, I want to say it was April 6th.
What the hell?
I don't. It doesn't make any sense at
I
all.
want to say April 6th is nationally known to be the best day to buy a house or something.
Well, there
like
you
that,
go.
because according to
That cannot be true.
People better get on it.
Right? So I'm saying,
What?
You better hurry up. I'll have that.
Can you
I'll have
repeat that?
I'll have that exact date for you next show. Yeah, I just was reading. Every year they do a survey on the time that somebody buys a house and gets the best price for it, basically. So I want to say this year it's April 6th or April 5th.
Why was I
something like
thinking
that.
it
They
was like
predicted.
December 1st
Right.
when nobody is out of their house? Why?
And I've heard January before.
Yeah.
I've been reporting these for years. It
I
used
had
to be
no idea.
January.
I had no idea.
I don't even know where they're getting. I think it's realtor.com that gets the stats or something. But
Yeah.
But basically, there's no inventory. We are seeing houses still having multiple offers on it. We're seeing stuff selling before it hits the market in our area.
You want to hear something weird?
But we're seeing some houses sit.
So,
And I think those are the ones that our prices are going down.
Correct.
The
Has
ones
to
who
be.
are sitting.
Correct.
Because
and
I see them. I have all these saved searches on all these different
Yes.
websites. And I've noticed the ones that have been on the market the longest, they're starting to drop 10,000,
Yes.
20,000. I think they figure if you've got a good house that's priced right, it's going to sell where it is. And if it's not, they have to lower
Correct.
the price.
So
And
here's
I've also been reading in a lot of the publications too that buyers are starting to come around to, well, it's not perfect, but there's nothing out there. So I guess I'll go ahead.
I
and take
hate
it,
that.
even though it doesn't have
Ah.
the bathroom that I want.
That's why barn dominiums. Anyway,
Yes.
so
Oh, no.
one thing is this a trend? 2 houses now that I know,
Mhm.
they want to buy. They said, "I'm going to buy a house in Kirkwood." I go, "Okay, that's cool. That's a old community."
Kirkwood in the St. Louis area, St. Louis County.
And very sought after. And I go, that's kind of a good price for the house. Yeah, it's not really for the house. We're tearing it down.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
And is that going to be the trend with Kirkwood? Is there?
It's been the trend with Kirkwood.
Is it really?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
doing it ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Really? So you go into a
One of
Kirkwood?
her agents, who I know very well, just sold
Yes.
2 houses like that.
That's right.
Wow! It was a $200,000 home. I go, wow,
Yeah.
buy it now. And he goes, yeah, I'm buying that. I'm buying the land, ripping
Yeah,
the house
that's,
apart.
That's about what we see is about 200,000 for a lot, a small lot in Kirkwood.
Really?
Everyone's
down.
doing it now.
Yeah.
I hate to see it. I really do.
Is that happening around the country too?
I'm sure in pockets, yeah. I mean,
In
new
pockets.
construction is
Yeah.
is it, and so you're running out of land. You got to start leveling houses to get new.
Especially in the areas that you want. This is
Exactly.
an old country.
Depends on the land price. It's got to make sense.
Well, I've been driving around the Midwest at least for the last couple of years, playing in shows, and the towns are old and decrepit and disgusting.
Mhm.
And it seems like if I was going to buy that house, it was like, man, that house was built in like 1930, and they went how much with it?
Yeah.
Are we going to get to an era where McBride and Sons or whatever builders just go in and start flattening, Park Charles and all these subdivisions and just retooling? Is that would you see that happening? Because I don't see how
When we
people
run out of
want to
land,
live in houses built in
Yeah.
1980.
we still have land. We just keep spreading.
Yeah,
so
but
as long as the spread's happening, I haven't in my lifetime seen builders come in and level whole areas.
But could it happen? Is what I'm saying. It seems like some of these communities sought after a piece of land. St. Peter's,
Mhm.
it's old. It was blue collar. Could we see builders going in there
my
and just?
opinion, which is my opinion, is it depends on those areas if they start to decline over time because those areas are older and the housing's older and the people stop taking care of the housing, then it's not going to be as an attractive area for somebody to come in and buy
Mhm.
a plot of it and then try to regenerate. I think we were talking about some areas downtown last week or a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
about possibility of that happening. And the problem is it usually kind of creeps into once the houses start to depreciate, then the area starts to
How can cities? I know we're going way into politics and all that. How can cities get rid of these I can't even say that word, blithe areas, and just start knocking down buildings from 1824 and start building and regenerating?
Eric, that's easy.
We should start with St. Louis.
Eric, that's easy. You know, you said, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Well,
bulldozer.
You have a mayor
Moab
that
bomb.
says, hey, this is the company we're going to pay.
Yes.
You go bulldoze it down. And guess what? It works. I was in Detroit. They started doing this in 2009, 2010,
Right.
knocking down all of these old buildings. And you know what? It cleaned up. I mean, not to get into politics. Then they got a brand new police chief who they were paying $300,000 a year. And what do you know? Detroit went from number 1 in crime and homicides to like 10th in 2 years. It's clear what you got to do to make things work.
Because we just there's nothing left.
Well, I just wonder what the trends are, because
we wonder too.
Literally no inventory. So if we had a crystal ball, and I have one, I'll bring it in next time.
Would you please?
You can look into it. What's the crystal ball for the St. Louis area from now till the end of the summer, do you think?
I think we're going to heat back up again and have a race for contracts.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good news, I guess.
Hey,
right?
Steve, can I ask you a question about loans?
Sure.
Because getting a loan these days, applying for a home mortgage, it's so much easier than what it used to be. Because all you have to do now is you sign up online.
It is?
You create an account.
I see what you're
You
saying.
send in all your documents and you get an answer.
So automation has come into play. As far as underwriting, it's not as easy as it was.
Aha.
Because you if you had a heartbeat, and actually some people didn't even have heartbeats and they were getting loans back in the day.
Yep.
Because they were
Because
using dead people's names, really.
Do you mean because now they're just looking at you on paper and not as a person?
It's definitely paper.
The guidelines are super loose.
Right. You know, stated loans. So you had stated income, you had stated assets. You walk into a bank and you say, look, I make $400,000 a year, but you make 50.
Yeah.
And they're going to lend you 1 or 2, 3, 4 mortgages. The Big Short's a great movie to watch if you've never
I love
seen
that movie.
Yeah.
It kind of tells the story. But as far as automation is concerned, people are going there, right? Everybody wants convenience. And if you're not going to be able to reach your lender, it's an important decision. So you need your questions answered. If you're not going to be able to reach them, they're going to go online. They're going to find somebody else. So, you know, I think speed and customer service are coming into play, and speed's going to be more important.
Talk to me about
I have to say, on an agent side of things, when they do go online and just pick some online company,
Problems occur.
And that's what I was just going to say.
Heart failure, because you can't reach people when you need to reach them. They don't move in the timelines in which you need to move. And the consumer has to understand, we as the agent, we are having to guide you through the whole process and keep you contractually in line. And when we go outside of our corrals of who we're used to working with or who we know or trust that we're working with on big things like mortgages and title companies and inspectors and things like that, they can mess up those timelines and really have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely so.
So that buyer and us as the agent, you know, we're the ones that are sweating bullets when somebody's not getting back to us. And I can tell you, there's been so many times that we talked about that finance contingency before, that I've dealt with a lender that I didn't know, didn't trust, or was just an online option who treat you like a number because there's no relationship here.
And that's exactly what I was going to say with Steve, is that it's easy to go online. It's easy to fill out application. It's easy to submit your documents, but you need that one-on-one relationship.
And
you need to know the person you're working with.
Apples to apples, because they're never apples to apples.
Right.
So you think, this guy's cheaper. Well, you didn't look at what fees were involved over here.
We're seeing that now more than ever. I think it needs to be a happy medium of, you know, the human interaction and the automation.
Well, I agree completely.
From the chat line, Heather says, I'm an underwriter for a mortgage company in the Midwest, and automation is better, but the loans suck, to be honest. Most people are scraping together every penny last minute just for the closing. Any advice, or does that sound familiar?
I agree with Heather on the automation. Automation's getting better. Is it 100% accurate? It's not, and it's never going to be, right? There's still that human interaction, that, you know, that judgment that needs to be there. As far as the loan sucking, I think that is a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I don't know which pond you're fishing in, but we do have some very good loans. We have some tough loans. You know, it's trying to make the ownership of a home
come to fruition.
Yeah.
And we try to do that any way we can. And if it takes a few extra steps, which may suck, that's what we do.
And
I
that's
love
why you
having
need
you
that
two here.
personal interaction. So
Yes.
you can have those
Yes.
extra
What's-
steps. People can reach out to you
The
and
automation
feel
kicks it
comfortable
out.
doing so. That's right.
You know, the human being can come up with
Exactly.
a creative solution.
Ah, very good.
I love that.
What's the worst? If for like, okay, so I go on, so I check my credit score all the time. I don't know, it's like a vain thing. Oh, look how good I'm doing. But I always check my credit score, and there's always mortgage companies right there. And it says, click to fill out, click to get in the queue, or your pre-approval, whatever it is. What's the worst? The one you just, no, if you see this logo come up, stay away. If you're going to say Quicken Loans, right?
I mean, I always say Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans has proven to be the worst.
Mhm.
And if you look at their rates now, I mean, they hide fees like nobody's business. There are a lot of people hiding fees because when rates went up,
Mhm.
guess what? Mortgage companies wanted to advertise lower rates.
Yeah.
So read the small print because that rate might be a full percentage rate lower than the others, but you're going to see it cost you 2 points to get that rate.
Yeah.
One of my personal ones that we've had lots of issues with is Bank of America.
Oh, my most hated bank.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I always heard it was
Yeah.
easy to get in and get out with Bank of
Oh,
America.
no.
Tough because again, you're a number to them. That relationship,
Yep.
the local
That's right.
relationship is not here with either the agent or the buyer. And so the things that I run into often is closings are delayed almost
Really?
all the time
Because of lack of human resources, or
they-
what do you think it
Those
is?
move
Big
on
banks'
their own time
mortgage
Yeah.
divisions are not located exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, you can take a deposit, you can open a credit card, that's easy.
Yeah.
Or a car loan, but as far as the mortgage part of it, you know, Bank of America might have their production in one state, their underwriting in another state, and to have all those things come together when you need it is tough.
Wow.
And the debt to income ratio can be different between a big bank like Bank of America or US Bank
Oh, okay.
versus a smaller lender usually. Usually the smaller lenders have a little bit more leeway from what I understand.
I like to think that the independent mortgage bankers have a little bit more experience.
Yes.
And the mortgage people at the big banks are more order takers. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that for everybody, but I do believe that's the case.
I love having you two together, by the way. You need
Kinda
your
like it too.
you need your own show of some sort.
You're right.
You,
know
you
what?
do.
We should talk about that.
No, seriously, you guys would be great together.
Yeah.
Talking with Kathy Helbig-Strick and her husband Steve Strick. You guys all know about Kathy Helbig, of course, experienced real estate partner. Steve, at the beginning of the segment, told us where he is now. If you could, again, somebody asked, who's with Kathy? If you could give your title again.
Why do you on the mortgage side?
But real quick, who
Sure. I'm a vice president of New American Funding.
New American Funding. Okay.
My question has always been this. So Jerome is going to come out and raise rates.
Yeah.
Why are mortgage companies beholden to that? Why can't they say, no, we want to be competitive and we're going to stay down here at 2 because we're just, I mean, how is the mortgage? Because I just don't know.
Well, you've seen we don't have a lot of power, right?
Well,
It's a
people.
federal
Yeah.
deal, Eric. It's
Yeah,
federal.
it
So
is.
how is that? Why can't a mortgage company say we're gonna live here in this space and our mortgage rates are going to be substantially low?
Sometimes banks do that. You know, sometimes banks, aren't affected as much by the Fed raising their rates. That's why you might see them hold their adjustable rate mortgages lower a little bit because that's short-term lending.
Mhm.
But, I don't know what's going to happen today. The Fed meets at 1:00 our time. They're saying 0.25%. Goldman Sachs said nothing. A lot of people are saying you need to pause, and not raise rates.
What the
and then
hell?
some people are saying, you know what, we need to go for it. We need to raise it 50 basis points, curb the inflation faster. But you saw the uncertainty in the financial world with the banks collapsing 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
And when that happened, and social media played a big part of that, contagion happened.
Okay.
Mm.
So then more banks started to go under, or, the appearance of it, because people were taking their deposits out with a quickness. And I think that they need to balance it. They need to have 2 separate sets of tools for stabilizing the financial crisis with the banks and inflation. So
Can't they just take money out of the system? I mean, isn't
Oh,
that?
come on, Eric. They
Can't they-
can't keep printing money.
Yeah,
that's why we're in the situation we're in.
Don't get Tevin to talk
Hold
about
on, hold on.
bailouts and
This is
bail-in.
we'll never have this opportunity again. We have the vice president here of the company.
I
He knows
agree.
these questions.
But we'd all like to.
You see what I mean?
have
It's just fascinating how SBB, is directly in correlation with someone who's trying to find a house in St. Peter's.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated with that calculus. I don't even know how it works. What's the marketing message to your potential customers right now with insurance or interest rates so high, home prices kind of elevated? What's your marketing message to them? Is it? I mean, you have to be speaking to the customers right now.
I think that don't be discouraged. This is the norm. It's been the norm for a little while now. I think they're going to see some reprieve soon. So, like I said again, if you like the house, if you're comfortable with your position financially, you buy it. You buy it today. You refinance later. I mean, we have a program to where if rates drop in the next 5 years, we will refinance you with no costs.
Okay.
I mean, those
wow.
are things
Okay, that was worth the whole show right there.
Because
right
we
there.
don't want you to have to pay the cost.
Go get your coffee, Eric. You're good
I'm
now.
telling you, that's good right there. I'm done.
And must I remind you all that just a few years ago, I remember writing contracts all day long at 8%.
Yes, but housing prices was not way up here either.
Yes, but
that's a good point.
Still.
That really is a good point.
It is. It's a fantastic point.
We don't want to hear it.
Back in the
Kathy,
80s.
it's all, you know what? People need to know this is all going to change.
Yes.
This is a
It will
temporary situation.
Yes.
It's a very temporary situation. I don't want people to think I can't go out and buy my dream home right now, because you can. You know what? You might have to pay a
Don't be
higher.
discouraged.
Exactly. You can't be discouraged. And, in my family, we're still looking at houses, and people have to. You still have to get out.
Right.
And when you find that perfect house, if it's there, you have to buy it
Yeah.
because you can take care of all these. The rates will go down. They
that's
always
where
do.
the saying that's been floating around for a while is date the rate, marry the house.
Right.
Mhm.
The house is more permanent. The rate can change.
That's exactly
5
right.
years, no fees.
And you think
I
about
love
this. Everything
Yeah.
is temporary. There's a guy named Ed Milet. He's an entrepreneur, right? Everything is temporary. This is temporary. Life is temporary. So if you think in those terms, it's going to end at some point.
It will.
You're going to get
Mhm.
lower rates. Everybody
will.
be
And there
happy
are
again.
there are avenues to bridge that right now too, and
Absolutely.
that goes back to like
Yeah.
the 2-1 buy downs, 3-1 buy downs. You can leverage yourself in the short term to be able to get into a house, get your rate bought down for a little bit on the the hopes that it is going to stabilize some. And
How did
You guys need T-shirts. Eric,
We need T-shirts.
You wear date the rate. She wears marry the house.
There we
There
go.
you go.
And you guys walk
Perfect.
together.
I love it.
We need
That's-
Kathy and Steve.
That's an
t-shirts.
advertisement.
are the guys that have a 30-year arm, are they screwed right now? Though because of
30
interest?
years. Oh, you're talking
An arm.
adjustable
Yeah.
mortgage now. Depends if they're coming due.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, no, it's amortized over
Yeah.
30. But so the thing about those arms is if they're coming due now,
Mhm.
you were used to paying at that 2%, 3%.
Yeah.
Now it's going to go up a little
Wow.
bit. It's going to be some payment shock, but hopefully a lot of people, plan for that.
Tabitha, you've talked
I
about
hope because they didn't a few years ago.
this. Question Drew wants to know, hey,
That
are
might bring us
sellers
some more inventory?
Right.
are sellers paying closing costs this week?
This week, great
week?
question.
If their house is the answer is if their house is sitting and didn't have 10 contracts on it, then yes, you could write into the offer the seller to pay the closing costs.
I added this
Or do
week
the
because it seems
2-1
like it can
buy down.
change.
Yeah. I think that program's fantastic. So let's get a house together. If the rates go down, you're going to get this refinanced at no cost, right? Isn't that
Yes.
is that correct?
Absolutely.
Wow.
There you go.
Tabitha,
I love
anything else
it.
You want to jump in with the Stricks about?
Oh gosh, so
Gosh,
many.
I swing a dead cat. There's so many topics
So-
right now.
Tabitha, it's your
many-
turn. I don't want to get off.
So
the
many
I
things.
Tabitha
should have
gets
asked.
mad at us. You see the look she
because
gives us?
Eric asked like 1,000.
I got
questions,
1,000 more.
and the
You
rest
want me
of
to keep
us all
going?
have 1,000 questions too.
Tabitha,
And
I
Eric
just said,
really does have 1,000 more
Tabitha,
questions.
is there anything you want to ask?
No, I just
Okay,
wanna,
my turn then.
I want
No.
to touch.
Yes, we live in Barnuminium.
I want to, and the barnuminiums aren't. I just want to touch base again. I just want to make sure people get that now is the time.
Yes.
Now's the time because that's why you guys are here.
Yes.
That's what we want to make sure
Right.
we talk to
Right.
people about because we sit here on this show and we talk about so many crazy things. We talk about war and we talk about the banks closing and all of that scares people and they're in a
Mhm.
panic and they think
Yes.
I need to hold tight to my money. I'm going to go to the bank, take my money out, put it under my bed.
Right.
But things will get better. And I don't want people to think that just because things are crazy in this world right now that you have to stop living and stop buying and stop doing the things that you like to do
Yeah.
and need to do.
Overall, real estate has always been a good or safe investment.
Yeah.
If you look at the history, there is rarely a time that properties have depreciated. And when they did depreciate through the bubble and a couple things,
Yeah.
it was very slightly and only for a moment.
Yeah.
And they've come back since then.
Yeah.
So
And even houses that might have depreciated to nothing, that
eventually-
land has now proven to be worth something, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
no doubt
people
about
that bought the houses in Kirkwood, apparently back in the 40s
Yeah.
at $20,000, now have a $180,000 bump in the price that they bought it for. Think about that, Vic.
It is. It's a good point.
And like I've said many times, the price of houses and the your investment in your real estate, they said what has gone up 441% since 1987. I read.
Wow.
That's a
lot.
big increase.
That's
I always tell people you can never go wrong buying real estate.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong.
Even the very conservative, I don't know, this says our mic's muted. I don't know if it is or
Oh
not.
no, we hear you.
The very conservative financial planners say real estate is usually a safe.
Oh,
Bam.
Always.
Good.
That's
Always.
right there.
In any economy.
And you know what? People are always moving. Even in a bad real estate market,
Yeah.
there's still movement because life happens
Yeah.
and people have to move.
Yeah.
So
I want to build an amphitheater in my backyard
love it.
with my barn dominium.
Airstrip, amphitheater.
You think I'm kidding, don't you? That's
No,
the
I
funny
I've
do.
thing.
always wanted to do that too, like build a stage where you can
Hey,
I
invite
wanna
your
build
buddies
an
over to do an
amphitheater.
open
Yes.
jam. Hell yeah!
With a big light show and a
Yeah.
Meyer sound system.
Hey, Steve,
I'm
before you guys
excited.
get out here, talk about your other business really quick. I just
Yes, the health and wellness clinic. So we have a health and wellness clinic. It is testosterone
New age.
replacement therapy. It's called New Age Health and Wellness.
In
It's
Ladue,
located in Ladue. We actually opened a second location in O'Fallon,
Illinois.
Yes.
Yes.
See, she's correcting me.
Know your
Yeah,
business.
We all deal with it.
No,
It's
it's been great. We're changing lives. Actually, we know some people. You know some people that come in there. It's a place where we want people to
Oh, I
come
do.
in feeling good.
I love it.
I do.
Leave feeling good. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Yeah,
blow
no,
you
of
up.
course. I brought
I
it
need
up.
to start
You guys
coming
are
in.
really well. That come
Right.
in.
They're
I come
really
in.
close.
Absolutely.
Really close to you, like in your chair. No.
Yeah.
No,
No.
it's been going
and,
very well.
and it's male, female, it's young, old, because testosterone and hormones
Hormone
have,
replacement therapy.
have
Yeah.
a
medical weight loss.
I was just going to say, because you
Big
guys do
bummer
weight
on it.
loss, which is
Oh, yeah.
so incredibly
huge.
popular
Keep
right
the
now.
Ozempic away
Such a
from
big deal.
Tabitha.
Oh no, I want
She
some.
will overdose on it.
No,
We won't have her on
I
this
was
show
actually,
anymore.
Yeah.
I was actually going to call you last week because I am not kidding. As like a test program for the show, just
Do it.
kind of for some fun.
Do it.
All
We've
right.
had
I
a
think
lot-
I'm
we've
going
had a
to.
lot of
What?
people
Some
that
fun
go-
before and afters. So, what do you want to do exactly?
Yes.
What do you
Seriously,
mean?
what do you- what would you like
I
to
want
do?
to take some
Hormones are not
Ozempic.
just to look like Steve if you're a guy.
Well, look at it.
It
Yeah.
does
Look at
help.
these guys
That's
could start a
testosterone.
male modeling agency
That's
right here.
Hormones are not
Not
just
us, that's
women
for
in
sure.
menopause people. It's for people in their 20s, 30s.
Yes.
There's imbalances that are happening, especially with all the chemicals and things that are in our food.
That's right.
So
Mhm.
don't
And water.
think that it's not for you.
What is-
You don't know until you're tested. Your regular doctors oftentimes don't do the same panels.
That's exactly right. And see, that's what I want to do. We have no
Tabitha,
idea.
we're going to buy this for you.
We have no
You're
idea
so
what's
excited.
No, but you know what?
And I'm still trying to get you new lips from Aesthetic.
New
Lips.
Thank you. I want
We're,
those
we're
too.
trying.
We'll
Tab, we got you,
we'll have
babe.
those soon.
But as females, the things we eat and drink, they affect our hair
yes.
and our skin and so many things that guys don't necessarily
I
worry
can
about.
tell you as a female because when these clinics popped up, they were mostly male clinics. A lot
Okay.
of them have man in their name, and it was very
Hmm.
testosterone driven.
Yeah.
I started going through all of a sudden a weight gain. I was eating better, working out more,
Yeah.
but then a few pounds are creeping
Still
on, a
look
few
great.
pounds
Okay.
are creeping
Still
on, a
look
few
great.
pounds are creeping on.
All right.
So then I was noticing I'm tired, like all these things were changing. I went to my doctor. He says, "You're fine.
Hmm.
Everything's normal. Did your blood, everything's normal.
Yeah.
Everything's
according
So-
to them.
according to them, but I wasn't feeling
Right.
like I used to feel. And clearly my body was changing. So I went to a hormone clinic, had my hormones tested, all of them, came back that I was low. As a female, my testosterone levels were almost at zero.
Huh.
They didn't test for that when I was at the doctor. So when I started getting testosterone as a female, and this was premenopausal, like you don't have to be a menopause. They think hormone replacement for women, they think, oh, once I've gone into menopause, and I got to go get estrogen. It's not just that.
That's
So I
right.
started getting testosterone, and then I dropped weight.
Mhm.
I started sleeping better, wasn't as foggy headed anymore. I
Hmm.
started to even have like bits of anxiety, which I've never been an anxious person. I'm the opposite. I'm like
Me too.
mellow and calm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once I started doing that, I noticed changes. And then over time, they kept optimizing me as my hormones continue to change as a woman ages.
Yeah.
They optimized me more. And then that's when we had this opportunity come our way. I knew Steve's been a big proponent of testosterone and other what other?
Well, it used to be test in the old days Vickles. It was if you were in an athletic program, you knew about this. If you were in a
Yeah.
gym, you knew about this.
Right.
But the
it had
outside of that, you never
it had
did.
The stigma to it.
Yeah.
Rage. I was like,
Yes.
oh, it's rage.
And
Well,
It's
with
not
us-
the back alley transaction.
Yes.
Have you guys seen some of the recent reports? I've been seeing them.
Amy.
Now, I know that B12 is so important for your body anyway and your mental health. Some people don't even realize how much the B vitamins are tied to mental health. But there have been people in all these reports just in the past 3 months where I've heard people are dying for some weird cause. And then they go back and they say, well, their vitamin B was low. And I never in a million years. And they're trying to tie it now with either cupcakes, the V word, or COVID, the C word. I know I did. And I don't know what's going on, but people need to go out and get their vitamin B levels checked. And you can't do that at your doctor's office.
No,
they don't test you for that.
We see B and D low with a lot of people that come through.
And I wish my doctor would test me for those things, and they don't. I have no idea what my vitamin B level is.
Another reason why you guys need a show, because we've thrown a lot of things.
Yes. You guys got too much info, man. I'm serious.
I know.
I would call in. I'd be like, oh my God, Eric's on the
highly
phone again.
recommend getting your panels done as a starting point. We do offer medical weight loss as well. There's a couple of different options, but semaglutide is one of them. But yeah,
we're just like vehicles. We need to be fine tuned.
That's
You're right. You know what? If you have a
right.
car and it's not acting right, you can sit and try to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Or
go get your inspection
and get a diagnostic.
Vic knows all about that. Look at this fine-tuned man over here.
Stop it.
Oh my God.
You
That
gotta
was the creepiest thing that's
It
ever
was.
happened on this show right there.
Whoa.
Hydrogen water. Is there anything to hydrogen water? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is there
all
anything?
kinds of things going on about water right now.
Alkaline water is that
Alkaline
legit?
water. Is there
I'm
anything
sold
to,
on alkaline. Am I stupid?
just say no and I'll be fine.
I have friends that live by
Yeah,
alkaline water.
we do.
I
Okay,
really do.
I study. I try to only drink alkaline. I try.
Me too, Vic.
Really?
My is yes. I have a machine. But I need to know, am I just
You have a
throwing money out the
machine?
door?
Hey, dropping batteries in your glass of
It
water
doesn't
is an
count.
alkaline water.
Hey, before we let you go, all I know is don't go to Scotty's doc. Scotty said his doc told him, or someone told him he's 30 pounds overweight.
Uh-oh.
What? And he's lean.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Come on.
God, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
that beard.
It's the beard. Yeah. I'll tell you what it is, but we'll have to do it off the air.
This is a family show.
Cha-ching you in. Kathy Helbig-Strick of Experience Real Estate Partners, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. With her big strapping husband, Steve Strick, the new vice president of New American Mortgage.
Yes.
Expected to be
Congratulations.
if anybody has any realty questions, any questions regarding mortgage, give them a call. Let them know you heard about them on Cancel This. That helps them know, too, that their time is well spent. Once again, 314-276-SOLD. Give them a call. And, of course, good friends of the show as well. We had fun today.
Here's the thing I've learned through this whole process. And this is, I did this. Back in the day when I moved to St. Louis, it was Quicken Loans, find my own house on Zillow, and I'll be on my way.
Yep.
That's not how it works anymore.
Not anymore.
Get in the game with a realtor and a mortgage guy, and boom, you're off to the races.
Boom. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you. By the way, we're going to take a quick break. Take a look at our partners. We'll do that. We'll be back in about 3 minutes for hour number 2 of Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. The Stricks were just with us. Scotty, engineer, producer, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Haslam, Vic Faust, back with more. DefendTrump.org. DefendTrump.org will tell you about it. And also interviews tomorrow with Mike Yoder, an attorney, to break down the whole situation, what's going on with Trump. And Ric Flair joining us tomorrow to talk about cancel culture and his marijuana business.
And we're going to find out what that 30 pounds is.
I want to talk more about fine tuning when we come back.
Oh, Tabitha, you get it. Back with more. Cancel the show right after this. Share the show, like, and subscribe.
You may know the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
If you are having a bad day at work, I can help. Hi, this is Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. We just expanded to Cottleville and St. Peters and are looking for qualified automotive and auto body technicians that would want to work in a climate-controlled environment. That's right, we offer a fully climate-controlled, air-conditioned and heated facility in both Cottleville and St. Peters. Visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Kathy Helbig-Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
So are you ready to be the grill master this summer? Well, look no further than Pixie Dust Seasoning. Our custom seasoning blends will take your barbecue to the next level. With 9 different blends to choose from, you will have the perfect flavors for any meat or veggie. And the best part is, our seasonings are low sodium and healthy, so you can indulge guilt-free. Whether you're hosting a big party or just cooking a late-night dinner, Pixie Dust Seasoning is the secret ingredient that you would thank us for. So head on over to our site at www.pixiedustseasoning.com to see our store locator, and I'm sure we'll have a store near you.
And when you visit the site, be sure to use the code name Vic so they know you came from CancelThisShow.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back into CancelThisShow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Tabitha Hassel. Eric Johnson getting his coffee. He'll be in just a second. We were recruiting, one of the building manager has her daughter here. So Eric
what a cute little girl she is.
Eric had the best idea when we first started the show. He's like, we got to cancel this. He's like, we should have canceled this Gen Z. So we were recruiting a 5-year-old girl to come on and talk politics.
Oh, God.
It's like, do you want to come
Poor
talk
kid.
about Donald Trump?
She's probably smarter than most liberals.
And she is the cutest little girl. I saw her peep
And
in.
her family, yes. Yes, she is.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
So,
I apologize.
What is past Gen Z? Because she's past Gen Z.
There
Gen Z
isn't a
Not yet.
term for it yet.
Not yet.
Oh, really?
They're just called children.
Eric, with your creative mind.
And we're protecting them, so she's not allowed in here.
She's just called
Eric, this is your
just
chance.
children.
Eric, you can come up with what the next generation
I
will be
think
called.
it's Gen Alpha, though. I think Gen Alpha is the next thing. It's like it starts over again somehow. And the Gen Alpha apparently are really sick of this whole woke culture thing. They're done with it, from what I understand.
Isn't Gen Z getting there?
No, I think Gen Z is
Okay.
the purveyor of it. And they're like, this
I
is our
thought it
thing.
was. I thought millennials were the.
I just think Gen Z needs to be exceptionally embarrassed about their generation.
I don't even see the deal with the generations. I know people want to break people apart by generations, but everyone's all over the board.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, we have a call to action going on right now. Go to defendtrump.org, defendtrump.org, if you want to sign a petition. Our marketing guy, Alex, put together a very cool site in the wake of what's going on with Donald Trump. Daily Wire came out with a report stating that former President Donald Trump will be indicted by the end of the day. That's what they're reporting. Will it happen? I don't know. But just about 5-10 minutes ago, Trump's attorney, who this morning said on Fox News that they had not heard anything from the DA Bragg, regarding any possible indictment. He came out today and said, quote, If Donald Trump is indicted, there will be an all-out war.
Well, I don't believe that. I think we learned our lesson, I hope.
Well,
And if
Eric,
we- and if-
Eric,
What are you talking about?
we have to fight today.
Well, hold on. Finish. What were you going to
Oh,
say?
yeah,
Eric?
let's not fight today. Yesterday was
No.
fantastic, but I have no energy for it today.
What were you going to say, Eric?
Here's the deal. I think that the people of this country they will stand down. They'll be like, they might go protest. They might have a few banners up, but there's not going to be this January.
You're right.
6th
There's
garbage.
protesters and supporters in New York.
Now, I will say this. There are some shady characters that like to wear the MAGA hats that will run around as Antifa light. And they will go and they will try to get on camera saying we are going to, burn the country down, but it has nothing to do with Trump supporters. Real Trump supporters are like, they're standing down. They might go picket behind the fence, but that's about it. This is a no-break. There's no cheese on this burger. I watched last night Tucker Carlson. I watched people saying this Michael Cohen is the only thing they have on this case. That's it, period. There's nothing else. They have 3 witnesses that are going to come in and say, this guy cannot be trusted. And they go down a checklist of how this guy's not one word of his testimonial should be even brought into play. I do think that this guy, Alvin Bragg, has an out. I was like, he doesn't have an out. He's boxed in the corner. He has to indict him now. Now he has an out. He can say, look, this guy is he's our only witness and there's no way that we can trust anything he says. That's his only out. But if he does go ahead with this indictment, Trump is an innocent guy. He walks free from this thing. And it puts the spotlight on the government versus Trump. And I don't know that the Democrats want that. They lose that battle.
And here's where it's not that I 100% disagree with you. It's the fact that you're basically telling people don't go out and protest, stay home. And that's the opposite of what we should do.
No.
The exact opposite. Because you know what? Just because
it got us
Not violently. She's not saying
I'm not saying violently.
But make your voice
Well, what's
heard.
the difference? We protest things every day on this show.
I was going to tell you, but here's what we need to do. We have to continue to fight for our country, and violence could occur to us. We as conservatives, we're not going to go out and be violent, but we have to expect that violence is going to occur, and it's probably going to be coming at us. But we can't be intimidated. We can't say, okay, well, look what happened on January 6th. So many of us ended up in prison. We can't look at January 6th and say, well, Antifa came out and all these people came out and it was a big false flag. That can't keep us down. That can't keep us home because that's why they did it.
What's your suggestion?
They arrested all of these people.
What is okay?
I'm trying to tell you, but
let me just figure out what the word protest means.
Can I finish one part, please, before we
go
in a
ahead.
different direction? On January 6th, the reason why they had Antifa come out, the reason why they had Antifa break the windows, the reason why they arrested so many people on January 6th is because they wanted us to be intimidated. They wanted us to say the next time something big happened, we're going to stay home. We're not going to go out and do anything because we don't want to go to jail. We don't want to deal with Antifa. We know what they're going to do. That's what they want us to do. And we have to do the opposite of that. We have to go out. We have to stand up for ourselves, stand up for our country, stand up for Donald Trump
Okay, let me tell
and
you
the conservative
Let me
movement.
tell you where you're playing with low fire. If you go out, are we talking about protesting in TikTok world or protesting in New York, Manhattan when he's arrested?
I'm talking about protests in your own town. Well, you don't have to go to
protest in
DC
your
to
home round.
protest.
Okay.
You don't have
Well, I
to
think
go
we
to
do
New
that
York
on
to
everything.
protest. Go out and you know what? We can have a protest through St. Charles County. We can have people protesting in St. Louis County, in St. Louis City.
We've already
Wherever
established that's
you
not how
are,
GOP
wherever
works.
you are. It needs to be, though. It needs to be.
But
If we
Tabitha,
don't
what
start
it needs
fighting
to be,
fire with fire, we're never going to get our country back.
here's where I have a problem with you, is you got to look in reality.
I am looking at reality.
Conservatives have no ability, zero. This is not part of your strategic package. You have zero ability to get people together in large numbers and walk down the streets of whatever street you want to walk down with the media even showing up to film you.
It doesn't
That
matter
is
whether
not-
the media is there. It
Lynn,
doesn't matter. Eric,
let
we
me
have to
just-
start fighting fire with fire. We have to start standing up for our
You know
country.
who the last
We
person I
have
saw
to.
do that in this town?
You can't let
Do you know
be
who the last
intimidated
person
by
I
it.
saw that do that in this town was? Her name was Dana Lash. She worked at a radio station called
And she's worth millions of dollars right
She
now.
worked at a radio station called 97.1 here in St. Louis, Missouri. She started the Tea Party back when Obama was trying to push his programs of socialized medicine. It was successful. It got into the public sphere. Just the cancel this podcast saying we have to do this is not going to happen.
It has nothing to do with, well, first of all, we do have influence over people, quite honestly. We have a lot of people who tune in every day because they care about what we think
Tabitha's
and what
trying to start
our
her own
opinions are, Eric. And the other issue is it's not just about us, because the people who listen to the show, they are us. We are them. We are all the same.
I'm just saying.
And they feel, a lot of people feel just like I do. A lot of people feel just like
I'm
you
just
do.
saying, if you can't run, again, here, football analogy, red alert. If you are a football team and you've lived and died off of the wishbone, and you run every play and you've been successful, all of a sudden you find a defense that is able to stop your run and you have no receivers. The GOP has no one to go out there and protest accurately on camera. They just don't.
I can't agree with that.
Well, it's interesting.
They
to
have
have
no receivers.
Something to add to this whole conversation, debate, whatever we're having, talk. All indications are showing that Trump supporters in New York right now and this is
You just
set
gotta
up.
be careful.
It's set up more for protesters against Trump than it is.
It's a trap.
But heavily outnumbered supporter or protesters against Trump, heavily outnumbering those who are there to support him. But once again, it's Manhattan, it's New York, and it's the DA's office. As I've been told before, and as we've said on this show, the supporters have jobs and are actually working and supporting their families and their kids, and others are not.
Yeah.
And as Tabitha said, are they being paid to go out and protest?
Of course they are. Groups like Antifa, they are being paid to go out and protest. They get monthly stipends. They get bus fare. They get all sorts of things. A lot of these people, actually, believe it or not, it's a job. Not only are they paid $1,500 a month as a stipend to go and travel to all these different places, their travel costs are reimbursed. They get free tuition. They get free health care. They get all free babysitting. They get so many different things. It truly is a job.
But it can be a trap, like Eric said.
It is a trap.
Tabitha, I mean, I agree with both of you. I do. And I'm like, Tabitha, I think
it is a trap. I agree with Eric. It is a trap.
If you go out to protest in this day and age, you're asking for trouble.
You have
and
zero
that's
media.
Wrong.
You have as a movement, as the Trump movement, you have zero media. You only have what Morning Joe and CNN and those guys are going to report about you versus what Fox reports about you. So therefore, it's a wash, right? It's a wash. That's how our entire system of protest has been working.
No, because
the last
you know
few
what,
years.
Eric? If
it's a wash.
If people, and I know we as conservatives can be overly complacent. I say it all the time. We are overly complacent. We're busy. We work. We have families. We have all these different things going. And I totally understand that. But if we don't start standing up for ourselves,
Black Lives Matter.
All of that.
Black Lives Matter. The whole Michael Brown thing showed that they have a community of people that will show up in Clayton in the
because they're paid and we're not.
In the tens of thousands of people. That day to me was a red flag. I was like, oh my God, they figured out a tool to get their voice heard.
Because Eric,
they figured out a tool.
There's no one paying us. There's no group out there paying conservatives to get violent. There's no group out there putting stacks of bricks on the corner for conservatives.
Tabitha, I agree. I just saw the comment line. I looked down. I think it's a fair question because we like to talk about it. Gentleman on Mike says, cite your sources for this payroll.
Public allies, Mike.
Fake. He's calling what we're saying is fake.
Look
news.
up a group that I just said. Obama founded the Chicago branch of Public Allies, and they pay their people a monthly stipend of about $1,500.
We did have reports when
when
Michael Brown's protesting began. That was all over the place. I mean, I even had photographers who I worked with at my previous TV station say they were telling us we were getting paid and where's my money?
That's exactly
because
right.
There's been several cases where people went out to protest and are like, wait a second, we were told we'd get our money when we would go protest.
RevCom, Revolutionary Communist Party, they pay people to go out
and I want you
protest.
guys when you protest,
there's all different
when you protest anything as a conservative, I want you to remember two words: Ray Epps. Ray Epps was on camera inciting people to go do things. And he was kind of like, think of him as a shepherd.
January 6th is what Eric is talking about.
Ray Epps is a cat that looked like he was trying to incite in his little pocket of illicit protest to get people to go smash windows in. And that's the only thing I think about when I think of January 6th is the people inciting the riot. Second thing I think about is the cops walking people through the Capitol building. I was like, this seems odd.
But
this
Eric,
seems odd. If this is an insurrection, you would think that you'd have enough cops bringing people out in handcuffs.
I agree.
There were none.
But I want to clarify something. So you're telling people that even though
It's a
our
trap.
country
It's
is,
what I'm telling people. It's a trap.
you're saying
Watch
that
what
even
you do.
though our country is going straight down the hole,
You're in a game of
even
chess.
though we're in this situation right now where we
Yeah.
could eventually end up in war, we don't have food on the shelves in some places.
Mm-hmm.
People are struggling right now to survive. They really are in this country. People are struggling to survive. And you're saying that instead of going out and fighting for ourselves, going out and standing up for ourselves, that we should just stay home and do nothing because the Democrats are bigger than us. They're more powerful than us. They're going to go get the more
Here's
media
how
coverage.
I love listening to you talk,
everybody
but here's how I
did
feel.
what you're saying, we will lose our country.
Here's how I feel.
We already have.
Tabitha Hassel is playing checkers, and the global elitists are playing 3-level chess. And you aren't even on the same game board.
You know what, Eric? You're wrong. You know why you're wrong? Because
I'm not wrong. I'm
look
telling
what's
you the
going on
truth.
in Iran. No, I'm saying you're wrong in that it doesn't make a difference. Look what's going on in Iran. We had a group of people, a country of people that were so incredibly oppressed. The women had to cover their hair. They have to wear burqas.
But we're nowhere near that point.
We're
That's
not
the problem.
And we're not to that point. But
They
you know
were
what?
at a point of.
They were. But we are. We just don't see it. We are at that
no,
point.
I see what you're
we
saying,
just
but-
don't see that we're at that point. If we don't do something now, but Eric, in Iran, these people rose up, and you know what? They even
I
though
hear
they
your
knew
frustration, my
the
friend.
government was going to kill them, and they did. They've killed hundreds
I hear
of people.
your frustration, but you're not
listening
right.
to me. You're talking and not listening. In Iran,
I am
He's
listening.
I'm
no,
listening.
don't stand up for him.
No, I'm just.
He's talking and not listening. So just admit to it. In Iran, there are.
I feel like this is this weird
See what
show
I mean?
on
You're
Channel
still
2.
talking and not
like
listening.
Hancock and
I'll
Kelly.
just, you know what? I get paid for being here. I'll just stand here and shut up and you guys talk.
Okay, thank God. Anyway, back to the show. I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
just
trying to explain to you what's going on.
I know
Iran.
what's in your head. I'm just saying that you're not analyzing
I'm
it
saying
properly.
that the people of Iran, I'm analyzing it exactly properly. The people in Iran finally got to the point. They finally got to the point where they had enough.
Yeah.
And it took one girl that took off her hijab and she was beat to death.
Mm-hmm.
And because that happened, the entire country rose up. They knew the government was going to kill them. They knew the government was going to imprison them. And you know what? They did it anyway. And guess what? They're over 190 days into the revolution and they have won.
That well said. And
They have won.
And that's my point
And
exactly.
we're not there yet. You're right.
That's my point, Tabitha. Where do you see somebody saying, go ahead, kill me because I'm going to pay less taxes, or go ahead and kill me because I am not going to sit back and let Donald Trump get indicted?
Yeah.
But
What does
it
and
take?
oranges.
When do we reach that point?
Exactly.
Look, you
And
are
for you, Eric,
two things.
you especially, when do you reach that point?
I'm at that point, but two things. You're talking about a piece of clothing on someone's head, on females' heads.
No, it's oppression. It's
Number
it's
two.
oppression.
Number two, this is global dominance over a new world order that these guys are trying to do. You just proved to me, it's not a bad thing. You are not playing the same game that these guys are playing. I'm serious about that. And it happened fast. 2 years. 2 years. And they are going after a former president. That's very banana republic. Number two, they are going to frame anybody that has a MAGA hat at this rally. And you are going to be the criminal.
That's
along
okay.
with the other criminal. And that is what they're begging you to do so they can use it in campaign videos coming up.
That's okay.
Joe Biden doesn't have a chance in hell. But if you open the door to an indicted whatever with his MAGA whatevers, then there is a chance. So you are not on the same playing board. You have to understand.
Well, we have to take that back. That's the whole point, Eric.
But what does that look like?
We're not. The
how do
people
you do
of
it?
Iran,
You're
What's your
not
tactic?
giving. Okay, you're not giving. What you're saying, I get, but you're not giving the exact plan. Okay, what does this look like? What's the tangible?
We need people, and that's exactly, I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly what our next step should be, is we don't have a plan. We need a plan. We need people to stop being intimidated by the government. You're right, Eric. We're
It's not gonna
near
happen.
the
People
level
are
of
too
the
comfortable.
elites, and people aren't paying us to go out and protest. But you know what? We can't wait until it's too late. We can't wait until we're in a war. We can't wait until our people, our kids are being sent off to fight with NATO over in Ukraine.
I love you,
We
but
have to do something
What
now.
is that? What does it mean?
We
to
need
do
people.
something?
Well, what we need
I know
to
what you
do,
need.
like we need
But you're-
people, quite honestly, like the Washington Guard. We need
Oh
militias.
Lord, I got.
There's militias all
No.
over this country, Eric.
But to do
And
what? though?
sometimes that's where it starts.
No, I
What
mean,
are they
but
going to do?
To organize. They're already organizing. We need people to organize. There's all types. People, we don't talk about it often on the show, but there are freedom marches going on all across the state of Missouri, all across the country that we don't even highlight.
I understand.
Maybe we need to start talking
Well,
about
then they're
those
not doing a
things.
good job. But here's the thing.
If we knew about them, we would.
We
promote
would, absolutely
The
so.
GOP
that's not us.
conservatives
That's
in
You're right.
nature.
Yes.
Conservatives in nature are the party of the slow boil frog. They want to come. They want to go to work at whatever they're going. They want to come home, play with the kids on the carpet. They don't watch the news that much. Their kids are over there watching TikToks because they're Gen Z, and those are the ones. The other side is the fast trigger, fast get together, fast protest. They love doing it because it's liberalism, and progressives love going to these events. They love it. They love. And the politicians are using them as a cog, or they're using them as a part of their machine. They are. So anything that they do to trigger you as a conservative, as a MAGA hat wearing person, you're doomed.
You're right.
Not. You're doomed.
But that's what we have to face if we want to save our country. We are doomed. I can guarantee you, if we start going out in mass protest against the Biden regime, many of us will go to prison. Many of us
Don't
could
want to go to
potentially
prison. There's no
get
reason to
killed.
go to prison.
Things are going to happen. But to me, fighting for the country is worth that.
There's no reason to go to prison. That's what I'm saying.
But there is. If you want to fight for your country, if you want to save your country, you risk going to prison.
Well, we're in
you
a
risk
day-
physical injury.
Yes, but you got to use the same tools that the other side is using.
They want to
Hey, Scotty, I begged to see you on camera, but our sound went kind of wacko when you came onto camera. Just letting you know.
Oh, look at Scotty.
But we've begged
Working
him.
on it.
Yeah.
We've
that
begged to
sounds
see
good now.
Scotty. And ladies and
But
gentlemen,
let's not get mad about this. Look, nobody.
I'm not mad about
nobody-
anything.
we've
I'm
been-
just saying that
she's
we have
passionate.
to.
Let's-
we
Trump,
have to save our country, Eric. We have to, and that includes. And not every. You know what, Eric? A lot of people feel just like you do, and there's nothing wrong with how you feel.
vote.
But I'll tell you what, voting is not the answer.
Oh, damn! That's
Because
the
we
first time
don't-
I've ever heard that.
Oh, because you know they.
but
cheat in
then what are
elections.
you going? But
Yeah,
then,
what are you going to do?
But then
It's
what are
not
you
gonna
going to
be-
do?
It's not going to be an easy battle. It's not going to
But
be.
I agree with
an
you,
easy
Tabitha.
battle.
But okay, my only difference.
That's why I say we need a revolution. We
Oh, my-
seriously, we need a revolution.
No, we
Okay.
don't. Don't
It's
listen
one
to
thing
her.
to say it,
Don't
Yes,
listen to
but
her.
what does it mean and what does it look like?
It looks
What-
like U-Hauls going down the
revolution
highway.
sounds cool. Yeah, we need a. And yes, I agree with you, Tab. I hate what's happening.
It doesn't mean violence. A revolution does not have to mean violence might be perpetrated against us, but that I'm not saying that we as conservatives need to go out and be violent. There are things you can do. And I'm telling you, there are groups you can join in the state of Missouri and in any state you live in where they are actually preparing and they are actually doing something. There are people who are actually doing things and they're getting prepared and they want to stand
Well,
up
now
for
you're
their
talking
country.
about two things. You're talking about what does it mean
Well, it
getting,
all goes together.
getting prepared. No, it doesn't. But prepared.
Prepared because
got-
at some
yeah,
point,
As I said, you got to put things in silos.
at some
first of
point,
all.
you have to take your country back. At some point, we have to take our
But,
country
okay,
back.
but Tabitha, when you say take country back,
Yes.
how are you going to take your country back by just walking on the streets?
It's so much more than just walking on the
well,
street.
okay, now okay.
It's getting
but
our
you said,
people.
But you said it's not about voting and it's not about violence.
It's not about voting
If
because
it's not
voting
about
will never
voting,
win in voting. We
if
can
it's-
try. We can
me-
try.
If it's not about voting, as you say, and it's not about violence, as you say, and it's about marches and get involved with groups, then what is it?
I have a plan.
I'm just trying to understand
I have a plan.
where the end goal is.
My revolution is like this. Listen to this one. See if this hits any home runs. I say if you want to get a group of 10,000 people, you go stand outside of ABC, NBC, and CBS, and you say we've had enough of your corrupt broadcasting of one-sided news. That's what I would say.
And that's
then
one
I would
way.
have a, then I
A
would have
certain group told Fox 2 when I was there, if you don't do what we want with a certain employee, we will march with 10,000 people in front of your station.
yes. And I would then
And
take
guess
that,
what station did? They did what certain group wanted them to do.
I'm sure. It's because it's not even about the
That's
money.
a fact.
It's not even about the money. It's about the negative PR. I would also,
Or at least what I heard.
I would go to the cable news outlets. I would make it a big story. There's 40,000 people outside the New York Times right now because of what they do or they don't do. You need to start reporting certain things and you need to stop collapsing our society. You have to defund PBS. PBS
Exactly.
is the worst. So my And I say PBS, go keep broadcasting the St. Louis Symphony, but outside of that, nothing else.
But see, Eric, you're coming up with really good ideas. Those are really good ideas.
But they're tactically tangible.
He's creative.
They're tactically tangible. And I love Colonel Joe. Militias are not the way. I keep thinking.
No, militias are
every
the
time
answer.
you say militia, I think Branch
militia
Davidians.
is not. Well, there's nothing wrong with the.
Every time you say militias, I think of a farmhouse in the middle of Texas going up in flames.
And that's what the government wants you to do. They want you to think of militias in that way. But militias do so many other things. They are not.
I don't like the word. I don't like.
A lot of people don't like the word.
I don't like the word militia either.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
But the militias, guess what? If there's an earthquake, or if there's something crazy that happens in our area, a bad storm, a tornado, guess who's going to come and help you? It's going to be the militia.
Yep.
They do so many things.
I think we should say freedom fighters.
Freedom fighters.
There you go. Anyway, your way to take action today in a small way is go to defendtrump.org, defendtrump.org. We put it together for you. You can sign a petition, defendtrump.org, a petition against any possible joke of an
and keep in mind, this could be your Declaration of Independence. Remember the guys that signed the Declaration of Independence? They were targeted by the king.
But it's not in this.
So you got to be careful about all this stuff.
To
right?
me, it's not even about Trump. I love, everybody knows I love Trump, but it's not about Trump. It's about Americans. Trump happens to be our spokesperson. He was our spokesperson for 4 years. I hope he's our spokesperson again. But ultimately, every single thing they're doing, it's not about Trump. It's about all of us. And that's why we have to fight back. If I go out and protest, it's not because Donald Trump got arrested. It's because they're coming after us, and we have to fight back against them. He is just the person they're targeting to get to us.
And why do you think that is?
Well, obviously, because we are the majority and they don't want us
No, it's because
to
he's a
recognize
nail
it.
in the coffin of their expansion policies to be a one world government. And I see what's going on.
Well,
now.
not him, us.
Totally.
It's us. We stand in the way of a one world government. He's our spokesperson.
2 years
but it's
ago,
us,
I
the
was
people.
like always thinking, they're not going to, there's no way they're going to take the sovereignty of the United States flag away. I completely see it now.
Yep.
I mean, it is not.
It's coming.
It is scary as hell. But
they're trying.
That being said, ESG, the way that they're doing all of this green energy initiatives, getting rid of the United States as an energy supplier. I mean, there are so many things. The border system, where it's just like this conveyor belt of people all along the Americas, is unbelievable. I get it. I know what you guys are trying to do. And Donald Trump, period, into discussion, is the guy that would stop all of that immediately.
Him and I think DeSantis would too. There's a lot of good people out there who could do the same things as Trump. There are really good people out there, and they need to do it. But ultimately, it's about us, the people.
Well, speaking about us, the people, and just switching the topic just a little bit to cover a couple other things. One thing that we promoted for today's show, your taxes and all the tax money that we pay. It's a big deal. Where does it go? What is it actually doing? Well, Wallet Hub did a survey that put together what states in our country are producing the most for the amount of money that's being paid in taxes. Now, it looks very red, but number one on the list, well, actually, I'll do 5. I'll start at 5. 5th best state to live in when it comes for what you get out of the amount of money, residents that is, for the amount of money that's being paid. Here you go. The show me state, Missouri.
It's true.
Missouri coming in at number 5. So if anybody wants to bitch and moan and complain about money being spent wrongly or whatever in the state of Missouri, Governor Mike Parson and crew have things going pretty damn well. As humans, it's always easy for us to bitch and moan and complain and try to tear stuff down. Missouri coming in at number 5. And when you hear the whole list, you'll see how it is a down the middle list. Number 4 on the list, Texas. By the way, Missouri, total taxes rank of 5 and government services rank of 38.
Wow. Wow.
Now, in 4th place, or excuse me, Missouri came in, it was a tie. Missouri and Texas tied. Texas, number 4, total taxes rank of 4, but government services rank of 36. Okay. South Dakota, number 4 on the list, total taxes rank of 6, government services rank of 25. Number 3, Eric's former state.
That's right.
Alaska, Total taxes rank of number 1.
Yeah.
Government services rank of 48.
So the oil.
Bingo. Number 2, Ron DeSantis, congratulations. Florida, number 2, total taxes rank of number 2. Government services rank of 23. And number 1.
Yeah, this is interesting.
This shocked the hell out of me. New Hampshire, total taxes rank of number 3. Government services rank of number 4. So they are number 1 all the way around by far.
New Hampshire is just old money, but Florida is it's the tourism and relocation state. Here's the deal. This is one thing I want Tabitha to be able to sleep easy at night at. They only have the funds to fund these crazy talking to the taxes, these crazy initiatives and this crazy globalism so much longer. Money does speak louder than anything else. And people going to Florida, a very red state, which used to be bluish to purple, is very interesting. Texas, red state. They only have enough money to maybe try to get this thing off the ground for so long until these states that have people moving out in droves are not their base anymore. I'm serious. So that's good. That's something good to look forward to.
What's the deal in Florida? I can't recall, but they don't have state taxes. Is that what it is?
Correct.
Yeah.
They don't have state taxes because I know a lot of
They
people
don't have personal property.
Personal property tax, that's what it is.
because a lot of people go to Florida for those reasons, for the tax benefits.
You can't even go there anymore.
But we're, as a country as a whole, stating to what you're stating to all of our social programs. Do you remember what happened to Venezuela? Do you know why Venezuela is how it is right now? It's because they had a communist leader who gave all of the country's money away to these socialist programs to the point where they didn't have any money left. And since they were so heavily invested in oil, when the oil prices dropped, the country lost all of their money. And then guess what happened? The banks collapsed. The banks closed. Do you know people were in the street with their cash, what money they could get a hold of? They took their money out of the bank, just like so many people here want to do. But it didn't matter because the money wasn't worth anything. They were actually using the money to burn in trash cans to keep warm. People who were well off before the country collapsed were eating out of trash bins.
See, I don't know that would happen
food
here in the United States because we do have, and it's actually genius. We have 50 states of which you can go anywhere, and this country is flush with cash, but the cash gets to move around and go to different parts of the country. So if you are sick and tired of Chicago, Illinois, you can take your cash and go down to Tampa Bay, live beautifully.
As long as cash is worth something, as long as we have banks, as long as we're killing ourselves with taxes. We're taxing, you know what we're doing? We're taxing all of our people. We've said this before. There was a study that was done. 73 cents of every dollar you have goes to taxes because when you get paid, there's employment taxes. You're paying taxes for the purchases you make.
Yeah.
You're paying here in the state of Missouri personal property taxes, many taxes. And what ends up happening is all of this money is funneled up to the government, but it doesn't come back down. That money in taxes, it's not going to you, the person that works. That money in taxes, it's going to these free social programs to the people who don't work, and it's going to Ukraine.
I know you're right about that, but here's what and I don't know how I might be wrong in this.
Basically,
but
it's robbery, Eric. They're taking money from you and giving it to other people.
The government has used this as a tool as well. The government has this thing, and they use it under the cloak of darkness, and it's confusion. Right?
I don't feel like we're too confused about it.
The government basically, they say, you will pay this tax. Once that money gets into the system, they are able to confuse you. And I think that's one of the tools that we are starting to now unravel is because with social media and the AI and the media the way it is, we're able to actually see inside of these machines now. And I'm wondering if in the next few years, we won't be able to pull some of that stuff back with a Trump or a DeSantis in office. Nothing right now. If you have a Biden in office, nothing's going to get unraveled. I do wonder.
Everything will change. If Trump were elected tomorrow, if he were elected by tomorrow, within 1 month, everything will have turned around. You know why? Because he would sit just like Biden did at a desk and sign all these executive orders, and he would turn everything around, and we would once again be a profitable country. We would once again dig ourselves out of the hole. We wouldn't be worried about what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine. If Trump didn't like what was going on. First of all, they're scared of him. World leaders are scared of Trump because they know he will do something.
Well, he's unhinged.
He will absolutely.
He's definitely unhinged.
Well, not because he's unhinged, but because he is doing what's best for this country. And these other people, well, you know what they want to do? We're all
Why do you think that Trump is not a 70 to 90% candidate right now? Why do you think that?
What do you mean by 70, 90%
Why do you think that this
candidate?
bumbling fool that's in the White House right now, who's a complete embarrassment, why do you think that 90% of the United States population?
So are you saying why aren't Democrats voting for Trump because they want to save the country too? Because your tax dollars?
No, because
you're paying for them to live. That's why. You are paying for them to live. People, not all Democrats, but a good portion of Democrats are on these different public services. They're getting free tuition. They want all this free stuff.
I just
so they
never
want
understood
you
this.
to work and pay for them to go to school and them to live.
These super smart Americans who their families were in World War II and in Korea and they were in Desert Storm. These smart Americans who built Ford products and GM products. These smart Americans that invented technology. And they look at this bumbling ass that's in the White House. It's a complete sideshow. And they cannot look at the forest.
It's politics,
I
Eric.
can't
because
figure,
he'll bail them out.
Trump is not unhinged.
Trump is definitely not unhinged.
I just have never been able
Media
to figure
makes
it out.
him out to be that way. As Eric, I started our show off today going, deep breath. Was your life better 2.5 years ago? Was this country better? Did we have hope for a future? Were your finances better? Did you feel a little bit more comfortable about where you were going, what you're doing? Did most people in the country, because not everybody's always going to feel the same way that you do.
But they can get into
100%.
It's like when you play golf, you're still shooting at the same holes.
Politics.
All of these companies, Eric, like Peter just brought up GM and Ford. Do you know all of these companies, they go under in the Biden administration or the Obama administration, they bail them out. They give them all this money. Trump doesn't do that. He does not play around. And so that's why they don't want to vote for him.
He had China on their knees.
Exactly.
When it came to trade, when it came to taxes, they were livid, absolutely livid, sitting in their corner, being good little boys because the Donald said, go to the corner. I ain't putting up with this crap anymore just because of what you've done to America for the last 20, 30 years. It's not going to happen right now.
I'm going to say something right now.
Okay.
Somebody just called me nuts because I listen to CNN. I don't
You
listen
don't
to
no.
CNN.
I watch
I'm gonna say
CNN
something.
too.
I'm
Just
gonna
to make sure I see what people are saying.
Here's what I'm going to say. Last night, I'm sitting there watching the news. Just sitting in the background. My girlfriend's sitting there.
What kind of news? Local or national?
Whatever.
Okay.
Local news, national, whatever. And I'm
but not CNN.
In the background, my girlfriend, and we're watching Donald Trump go off on, I think it was Ron DeSantis, or go on, whatever the Alvin Bragg thing is going on. And in the background, she hears Trump go, horseface Stormy Daniels. And I saw her ears perk up, and she went, what did he just say? All she heard in that whole thing was horseface, him calling a chick a horseface.
And he shouldn't do that. It's wrong.
So did you hear what I just said? I just proved to myself in my own little laboratory of what exactly happens when suburban women hear a man say horseface to any other woman.
Eric gets all the gold stars for that, Tabitha. There's no response to it.
Well, there is a response. And the response would be, is that, and this has nothing to do with you or your girlfriend or anyone else, or even me for the most part. But I think that a lot of people and a lot of women in particular, that's why there's so many women for Trump groups, because trust me, we've all heard the things that Trump says. And the reason why we continue to support Trump is because we can separate. Nobody has said he's a perfect person. Nobody said he's always done the right thing. There's a lot of things Trump has said that I absolutely do not agree with, that I don't like.
Joylene likes what he said.
But at the same time, and sometimes people deserve things to be said. But I just personally would not go down that road. But the thing we have to remember is that Trump is the only thing standing between us and New World Order. And if he says some stupid off-color comments, I don't like it. But at the same time, I have to separate his personal person from the job he's doing for the country.
You went so far out of your way to justify it. Let me give you another.
I'm not trying to justify. I'm explaining why women still support Trump. Let me
give you another scenario. Asparagus.
I love
it. It is maybe one of the most healthy things you can eat. It makes sure, except for a few things, but it's vitamin A, it's rich in fiber, blah, blah, blah. And it is one of the best things you can eat. If you gave me the choice of a bag of Skittles, which is completely unhealthy, and a bowl of asparagus, which I can't stand the taste of, I'm going to eat the Skittles all day long. That's the American society. Hold on. That's the American psyche right now, is they would much rather have the bowl of Skittles with the free stuff like you just laid out versus a super healthy food, but I can't stand to taste it.
But here's where you're wrong, even in that instance, Eric. Is that,
I'm wrong in that one too.
You know what?
Okay.
What people actually do is they learn how to cook asparagus to make it taste better, and then they still eat it for health.
Scotty, help me out over here, buddy. I need some help.
I like asparagus.
I am telling you that the majority.
We all love asparagus
Eric,
besides you. In this
It grows in my yard. I love it.
I don't think asparagus tastes great, but if you cook it the right way, it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's like Trump.
It's gotta be
He's not
crunchy.
perfect. You have to take him the right way.
Yeah, you can't
You
have
know
it
what? Someone
soggy.
did-
I mean,
someone
I
did-
eat wet toilet paper. I mean, like, you got to have a crisp to it. You know,
Someone did sneak asparagus past me one night. It was in halibut, and I was like, "Well, that's pretty good." And it was asparagus. I was like,
Oh,
you don't like asparagus at all.
I can't stand it. I would much.
Have you had it cooked the right way?
Yes, I've had it I've had it at high quality fish or surf and turfs. I've had it all over the place, and I just
I don't always like asparagus I get in restaurants, but when I cook it at home, I like it. I like putting it on the grill. You can put brushed butter or olive oil on it and some salt and pepper and some garlic.
Yeah.
I don't like cheese on
see all the work you have to go through just to make asparagus palatable versus a nice bowl of Skittles,
I'm so glad
which is
you
Joe
just
Biden.
said that, because look at all the work you have to go through to save this country.
Conservatives are lazy.
It's not pretty.
Conservatives are lazy when it comes to politics, and they should be.
I don't agree with that.
And they should be, because politics is boring, and conservatives have a damn life. They're looking online on Kayak to see where their next
Eric,
where their
it's
next
not.
trip in adventure is.
But it's not. We are the majority, and we are the most active people in the news and paying attention to what's going on in our country. Conservatives we actually do the deep dive. We are more critical thinkers than the people. Democrats typically just watch a headline on CNN or MSNBC and they believe everything we read. The difference is us conservatives, we aren't heard. Our views are oppressed. We need shows like this.
Do you think that conservatives
for people to hear what we're saying?
And then make your point. Then we got to get to something cancel culture related.
Do you think the conservatives would show up at Lindenwood College if Joey, whatever her name is from MSNBC, was giving a speech? No, they wouldn't. But do you think that if a conservative was getting a speech over at Lindenwood College, you would have 5,000 kids that say, not in our backyard, or not whatever it is? No, that's what they do. And they actually move the needle in free speech conversation.
Well, we don't
That's
have
not
free-
how conservatives roll. They don't roll that way.
Yeah, but you're trying to say conservatives are lazy and they're not active and they're not doing their part, but we are. It's just that no one's letting us. We don't have an outlet for it. We don't have a platform for it. And that's why
This is
we're
the
here on this show.
This is the platform.
That's exactly
Eric.
why we're all here.
We make it. It may not. Our audience is gaining immensely by the day, and we're grateful for that. Do we want bigger? Yeah. But Eric, you've got 60 years of learning how to ingest news from a TV set, and you get patterned into thinking, oh, this is right. This is right. And I can speak to this because I know. I've told you how many times, even was on it, you don't get the full story. So
No.
now it takes time to generate. And this is a
And you're
new
part of
medium
that.
to do that.
But here's the deal. Like we're talking on air, there are the globalists, and they're in their smoking jackets, smoking a cigar with their
On your
Cavassier
money.
in a very dark room in Washington, D.C. somewhere, and they're going, look at these conservatives. We can beat them here, 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 and here. And they're saying exactly the same thing. I
But
just
look how
said,
hard
only
they
on
work.
the different side.
They work so hard to try to keep
You just
us
made my
down.
point.
So hard. But you know what? Because
made my
because Eric,
point.
because they know
I love it.
If we had more platforms, if we had more places where we could talk and share our opinion, we would rule this country. There is no question about it. They do everything they can to keep us down, and we just cannot.
So you're going to
continue
keep doing the same
let
thing.
it happen.
You're going to try to use their tool against themselves, and it's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, and we'll continue to talk about it. Before we get out of here today, one other topic, because this show is called Cancel This. We're all against cancel culture, and we try to provide cancel culture education. And as much as people try to stuff other people down and continue to come after them and don't let them live their lives, because there are people who do that when somebody makes a mistake. Case in point, country music star Morgan Wallen. You know who he is now, right, Eric?
Kind of. Who is she?
That's funny. I like that.
Oh, it's a guy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Who is she?
Morgan. We had this conversation about a year and a half ago, and Eric's like, "Who's Morgan?" I was like,
I don't know country stars.
He was only the most popular, most sought after ticket the entire summer at Hollywood Amphitheater.
Nice.
Morgan Wallen. It was the toughest ticket to get, according to the people who worked there. Okay, 2 years ago, you may remember, Morgan Wallen had an issue. He was drinking. It was late one night. There was a video of a neighbor videotaping him as he was going into his house. People canceled him, and there were major attempts to cancel him forever. Well, video surfaced of him drunkenly using the N-word shortly after the nationwide Black Lives Matter protest were dominating the headlines. So then he violated COVID-19 masking protocols right after that at a crowded bar. Saturday Night Live booted him from their show. Well, 2 years later, guess what? Morgan Wallen has the number one song. Just 2 years later, he's got the number one song, country song.
His album sales skyrocketed after that event.
Called Last Night. Morgan Wallen, you know what? Listen, he made a mistake. He apologized for it. He tried to get help, but he didn't stop doing what he does. And there are still some people, it's always the minority, a loud minority, that try to ruin people. And Morgan Wallen said, okay, come after me, do whatever. But he continued to do what he's doing. Number one hit in America 2 years afterwards. Congratulations, Morgan Wallen, whether you like the guy or not.
What does that say to you? He's in the same ballpark as Kid Rock. You know, Kid Rock is a sought-after commodity because people feel like Tabitha and Ted Nugent's in that same, and it's becoming a cottage industry. But, you know, he got busted for saying something, but people love him because they like his music, they like his demeanor. He
was calling one of his friends that word.
Yeah. You know, he was caught on off camera. So
it was the context and the intent.
Correct.
Yeah, and he's not a political advocate by any means.
No.
Not like Kid Rock.
No. Because I know you said Kid Rock and Ted Nugent. He doesn't.
Don't you think so?
No, he doesn't come across like that at all.
Oh, really?
Like, it's all about his music, and that was just kind of an isolated incident where that got videotaped, and it was just kind of out of context.
Did you see the pictures I sent you?
Yeah, I put them up.
He played them. Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is that he would, if you went to the amphitheater to see him, there might be a big video flag of a big U.S. flag flying around.
Oh yeah, I think
patriotic
that goes for any country music.
I kind of feel like that is talking to Tabitha. How does this kind of resolve? I think people are getting back to where they want to be American patriots. I feel that. I may be wrong.
Getting back to, we're already there.
No, I think that patriotism, the flag was kind of knocked down a few pegs.
Only by Democrats.
Yeah, only by Democrats, but that's a whole side story from Morgan Wallen.
Do you guys remember the Old Glory flag run that was going around for a while here in Missouri?
No.
All the trucks with the flags on them? And they had I want to say there was 600 trucks in a caravan going down Highway 70 with flags flying off the back. And it was actually during COVID as well.
Yeah, I do vaguely.
I think when you guys were on the morning show at the radio station, it was happening.
I do remember that. I mean, it ended up at Pogue's thing.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
At Arrowhead. It was over and ended up over at Arrowhead.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. It was huge.
But Morgan Wallen's recovery just goes to show in America, people can come back. And that's exactly what he was doing. There was the whole woke mob, the whole woke culture going after him. And guess what? He persisted. And here he is. That's massive. First of all, to get a number one single, but 2 years after this,
it actually helped him because I don't listen to country music.
That's what Eric was bringing.
I had no idea who he was until that incident happened. I don't listen to country music.
Not only did he bounce back, but he bounced higher. Because now
exactly
look,
right.
Tabitha's like, I don't even know who this guy is.
He bounced higher.
I know who he is.
Any press is good press.
Yes.
That's right.
In certain circumstances, it absolutely
is.
Yes, it is.
Wow. But it's like one side is... race is just not a thing. There's this one chick, I don't know, not to change the subject on you, Vic, but I wanted to talk about it yesterday. But there's this anti-racist, I can't remember what her name is. She's this white elitist babbling brook of non-information.
But
she is, I can't remember what her name is, but there's a video online. D'Angelo, I guess that's her name. That's her name. You can look it up. D'Angelo. Just put in Google, D'Angelo, black people should disconnect from white people.
Okay.
Black people, she says this, and she's very prominent. She's very listened to individual. And she says in this little 4-banger Zoom call, she goes, I think it's just time that, black people just don't associate with white people anymore. I just thought of back of the bus segregation.
She's not the only one singing.
1950. I was like, is this? And these African Americans are on camera shaking their head in agreement. It's like, yep. I go, that is really the worst thing you can possibly even fathom to do. When is the African American community going to look at this stuff and go, all right, yeah, we see what you're trying to do. We're done here. We're done here. When is that stuff going?
Well, it's not America.
As Morgan Wallen is bouncing higher, when are these ridiculous liberal policies and discussions going to finally backlash in these people's faces?
Well, I hope they do, Eric, because somebody else brought something up on the line, and I have been reaching out to Tom McDonald for about 2 months. You probably don't know who Tom McDonald is, do you, Eric?
No, give me
Tom
a
McDonald
crash
is a
course.
Canadian. He started as a rapper, and then he's all self-produced. Everything, every single thing Tom McDonald does is him, his girlfriend, his family.
Okay.
And his whole mission has been not to sell out. His whole rap music was about what's happening and how we're being played against each other.
Okay.
How whites, blacks, Hispanics, all being played against.
I do know what you're talking about.
And I think he is a super. For anybody understands anything about the music industry, like Eric and Scott, you don't produce number one hits by yourself in your house.
Yeah.
This guy became number one with a song called Ghost not too long ago in Canada. And guess what? He was, here you go, canceled because, and people tried to cancel him because he called out what happened at the Grammys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, his number one hit, you couldn't find him on radio anymore.
What part
So
of what happened at the Grammys?
You didn't watch the Grammys?
No.
Do you don't Sam Smith?
I don't have no idea.
The
who Sam
devil
Smith is.
worshiping
The
garbage.
devil worship.
Oh, that part, yes. I didn't watch it. I don't watch the Grammys.
Well, so
or
what does
worship.
Tom McDonald do? He hooks up with Big Rich.
Yeah.
You guys know who Big Rich is, country music star.
Yeah.
So now they've got a brand new song out in video that you can find, To the End of the World. So they're coming back, trying to come back against all the backlash, against the woke mob and cancel culture. And the guy is super talented. If anybody knows Tom McDonald,
Such
please,
a great story.
I've been begging. I've messaged him like 6 times.
Oh, wow.
Show him our content because I want this guy on the show because he epitomizes doing everything by yourself, having a number one hit in your house.
Let me speak to Tabitha on this one. I love what you say. I'm a big tactical kind of guy. I want my hand on what your plan of attack is. Here's something you need to think about. This is an enigma. This is something you can't put your fingers on. This guy, like he said, made a song in his bedroom, and people, the invisible, the people who are not, that aren't on the news, Vic just said it's the biggest thing and growing. It's trending. If this gets in the consciousness of the younger generation, if this gets in the consciousness of this little song, speaking out against a Sam Smith kind of a thing, gets into a stadium, then it's a game changer.
Can I tell you why that happens?
Then the people, and it's something you can't even plan for, right, Vic? No. It's something you can't, like, we're going to do this song and it's going to be in a stadium and we're going to change the minds of these young people. That's not what happened here. It's an enigma. It's something you can't
know why?
touch. Yeah.
Because you know what we have the power of? We might not have the platforms. We may not have the ability of free speech, but you know what we have? We have the choice of where we spend our money. And if we have, and that is what we have to use to our advantage.
Mm-hmm.
When you see somebody like Morgan Wallen, when you see somebody like Tom McDonald, you know what? That's where you choose to spend your dollars. You spend your dollars with the people who represent you, who are fighting for what you fight for. And see, and the government, the elites, they know this. They know this. They suppress us, but they can't tell us where we spend our money. That's why they want to take our money away from us.
Let me add to that. It's active versus passive. Active money is George Soros giving it to groups to go do something. Passive money is I just legitimately, organically love this, and I'm going to use my money to fund this thing. You see
That's
what I'm
exactly
saying?
right. And you need to take, and the opposite. If there's a company who is woke, who is fighting against us, who is trying to oppress us, don't spend your money with them. Keep your money away from those companies. Go to
What's the USA company you guys were talking about the other day? Remember that?
Patriot Switch.
Patriot Switch.
We got a call tonight at 7 p.m. Central. You can go to, there it is. That's the login for it. cancelthisshow.com/Patriot. We'll tell you how you can do it. It's literally doing what you're already doing with products, except all for an American company.
Gotta do it.
Spend your money there.
I started doing it for 2 months. Not only do I feel good about myself, I'm using the safest products in the country, in the world, and I'm not supporting China. So tonight I'll have more, and you can make money off of it.
This
so
is the easiest way to protest.
7 p.m. tonight. Sign up. CancelThisShow.com/Patriot.
You have no choice. You don't go buy the Starbucks coffee. Go get Black Rock.
Robert says, great cause. He's already a member.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Of course you are, Robert. Of course you
And don't even think anything twice about it. Don't think I'm such a great human. Just do it and forget about it.
Hey, you know who a great American is? Woo!
That's
Ric
right.
Flair. We got Ric Flair on tomorrow, baby. The Nature Boy hates cancel culture. And he's going to talk about it tomorrow.
I'm going to come in here in an easy chair. I'm coming in here in my deck chair.
Get some woo-choos.
I am.
I'm going to bring a buzzer.
I'm going to have a cigar. A beer. My feet are
Let
going
me
to be
tell you
up.
something, Eric. The Nature Boy has answered all your questions. Tabitha, what do you got to say?
I'm going to have to look him up. I know. I have no idea who he is.
He's like, who's Ric Flair?
I don't have the faintest clue who Ric Flair is.
I can already hear him.
But I'm excited about it either way.
You should be.
Oh my
He's
God.
great.
So funny.
CancelThisShow.com. Scotty, we love seeing you. Can we make this an everyday thing?
Yeah, sometimes I'm rattling around. No one wants to see that, so I'll just pop in like when I join conversation.
I'm going to go put that cancel this sign out there in the lobby right behind you on that wall.
Oh, okay.
I like
there
it.
you go.
Yeah, right behind.
I need a blue light too. I feel left out.
Yeah, where's his blue light?
Yeah, we'll get him. This is all an evolving show.
I like Scotty because he often agrees with me.
Let me check the bank account.
He always
Stay with us, Scotty.
We
Stay
all
with us,
agree
Scotty.
with you. We all agree with you, but sometimes you just sound crazy. That's all.
Well, crazy is what's going on.
It's no
in this
big deal.
country.
Crazy is. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Scotty Gherkin, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust. Thanks again, everybody. We love you. It's CancelThisShow.com. Like, subscribe, share. Seriously, if anybody knows Tom McDonald, help us out. I really
Please.
want this dude on.
Yeah.
Love him. He's got a big heart and he's super, super talented. All right. It's no Kmart blue light special, Robert. You can stop with that right there.
we need a well, you know what we need a different lighting system. So when Eric's talking he gets 30 seconds with his lights, and then when it's my turn I get 30 seconds with my light.
But what are you going to do with your 30
30
seconds?
uninterrupted seconds.
It'll be like a debate. Oh,
Let-
there we go.
There it is.
Tabitha's getting angry.
Here. My
Tabitha's,
turn.
that's Tabitha's angry.
Give me the sound.
I can't play them both at the same time.
And Terry O'Neill's right. We all sound crazy on Fridays talking about UFOs, but you know what?
That
It's
red
so
works for
much
you.
fun.
That red works for you.
Red is my
Keep the
color.
red. I'm gonna start my own protest. Keep the red. Oh damn! Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. We made Eric a little red, but you have to put the light out.
It even makes Vic red.
Yeah.
We need, it
Fun
can
with
match.
lights on Cancel This.
It could be like that little
Where's the
Disney show
fogger?
where
Give me
it matches
some
our
lasers.
emotions.
Matches our emotions. Okay.
Like a mood ring.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
In a dark time in hell. Come on, you got this. There it is.
Oh,
We've all gone red.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. Here
It does
we go.
give you a nice glow.
Yeah.
It does. You look so tan.
It looks like Biden's speech is what it Come to the dark side.
Come on, man. All right. We're getting crazy. We're out of here. Have a good day. We'll see you for Cancel This tomorrow.
So funny.